Okay? I'm back at it again, man. All right. It is time to talk. We got a lot to discuss. The New York Jets have their offensive coordinator search. We're going to be talking about, should the Jets be all in for Lamar Jackson? We're going to discuss it all. Listen, 515-602-9639. Call in. I'm taking all callers. We're going to be talking Jets. Salutes to everybody. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Give me 1 second, folks. We're going to connect the audio and get to it. Hold on 1 second.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it. Okay? I'm back at it again, man. Here we are talking about the Jets. Once again, we got a lot to discuss. The New York Jets are searching for the next offensive coordinator. Lot of names being thrown into the hat. A lot of people discussing who should become the Jets offensive coordinator. We're going to be talking about that tonight. They've interviewed some guys. They're inquiring about others as well. We're going to cover that too. Also, Jets quarterback situation. A lot of questions on that, right? Should the Jets be all in on Lamar Jackson? All right. Or maybe it's Carr, Or maybe it's Garoppolo. Maybe you want Aaron Rodgers. Call in 515-602-9639 and share your take on that. We're going to be discussing it all, okay? Also, there's some, things that need to be talked about as well in the Jets roster. A lot of people are saying, hey, we need to restructure old C.J. Mosley. A lot of money. We'll be discussing all of that. Listen, let me go ahead and get into the show, okay? Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Listen, your boy is on iTunes as well, all right? Go on over to iTunes, okay? Go on over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show, okay? Follow the show, subscribe to the show on there, and leave me a 5-star rating, okay? Leave me a 5-star rating. Let me know what you folks think. I really enjoy hearing from you people, all right? Really enjoy everyone that does leave me a rating, and I want to again, thank everybody that leaves me their thoughts and feedback on what I'm doing here. All right. Your boy's also on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. All right. A lot of people say, hey, Joe, you look good, man. We like your voice. We like your takes, but we didn't know you were such a smooth individual. And I'm not cocky. All right. I'm not arrogant. That's not me. I'm just a calm, quiet guy that just works with what I got. But when you got so many people saying, hey, Joe, you're looking good, man. We like how you like how smooth you are. You know what I'm saying? You keep a good edge up. You're looking good out here. I say thanks. Salutes and respect to all the ladies that watch me. Salutes and respect to you all. All right. Come on over on YouTube if you want to watch the show live. Okay. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Type that in your search bar. Come on over to the page, hit that subscribe button, okay? And then when you subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. We have a lot of fun. Salutes to all the savages as well out there. Love going back and forth with everyone as well as there too. I'm also on social media too. You can follow me at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right? Go ahead and follow. I'll follow you right back and let's go. Let's have a lot of fun. So with all that said and put to the side, we've got quite a bit to discuss. We got callers. We'll get to you guys in just a second. I want to cover the New York Jets offensive coordinator search so far, okay? Now, there's a lot of names that's going to come out. Again, at this time, the show is live. So, of course, there's more guys that are being spoken about and, kind of their names are thrown into the hat as well for the New York Jets offensive coordinator position. Again, as we heard from Sulla, they're going to cast a wide net for offensive coordinator, to fill the offensive coordinator position. So the Jets have brought in and interviewed Kevin Patullo. For those of you that do not know, Kevin Patullo is currently the Eagles passing game coordinator. Now, keep in mind, he was the New York Jets quarterback coach 2015, 2016, and he was a part of the staff, okay, that set offensive records with Ryan Fitzpatrick, all right? That's when, we had Fitz, Marshall, Decker, and we was going off that year. We didn't go nowhere, but we went off offensively. We set a lot of franchise records. For y'all that don't know, Ryan Fitzpatrick holds a lot of offensive franchise records for the Jets statistically. And statistically, that offense that he was at the helm of, all right, with Decker and Marshall and all the guys we had, right, that is statistically the best offense the New York Jets have ever had, statistically. You can look it up. Then in 2018, Patullo became the Colts wide receiver coach. He held that position for 2 seasons. 2020, he moved to the passing game specialist there with the Colts. And then in 2021, the Eagles hired Patullo. Now, the Eagles passing game went from 29th in DVOA to 14th, and then it hopped from 14th to 9th. So that was an improvement, right? So you have a guy that has a history in being able to coach a quarterback, and he's a quarterback's coach here. And, he was a passing game coordinator, and we've seen that offense kind of take a step up while he was a part of that staff. Now, the play calling stuff is the big question for me, because as we continue to go forward, right, we talk about what I want in an offensive coordinator. We'll be discussing with you folks tonight as well. Again, 515-602-9639. I want a bit more of a veteran. I'm being completely honest with you. But when we talk about the New York Jets plan, right, offensively, a big part of that plan going forward is Zach Wilson. They want somebody to be able to come in and help this guy. So that's a big part of the plan too. So Patullo being able to, get in that quarterback's coach mode, which he's done before, and now he's going to step up and be an offensive coordinator. He may be able to put some things together, again, to have to help this young quarterback out here with the Jets. And then we'll see again what we're going to do as we attack the quarterback position in the offseason as well, the Jets staff has spoken about. Now, one guy I'm a little confused why the Jets haven't necessarily grabbed him up yet, is Brian Johnson. Now, Brian Johnson is with the Eagles. As we all know, he's the quarterback's coach there. And I'm wondering when we're bringing him in, all right? He helped Hurts after 2021. And mind you, Hurts, originally, that was a rookie year for Hurts. And that was a rookie year that left a lot of people with questions about him. And Brian Johnson was able to help Hurts. And look at where he is now. And I remember a lot of people screaming that Hurts was going to be a bust and he was trash. All right. I'm telling you. So, that's a guy I'm looking forward to. Nick Casey is also a guy as well that the New York Jets are interested in. Nick Caley is 8 seasons with Belichick. He's the Patriots tight ends coach. He was an offense assistant for 2 years and then a tight ends coach for 6 seasons. He also coached the fullbacks as well from 2020, 2021. He also has Super Bowl experience, but he's another guy I'm wondering, hey, where's the play calling experience, We're going to be talking about that tonight as well. Then you also got Marcus Brady as well. He interviewed with the Jets on Sunday. Marcus Brady is currently the Eagles' offensive consultant. All right. 2021, 2022, though, he was the Colts' offensive coordinator. Keep in mind, Frank Reich did fire him on November 1st, though. Their record was like 3-4-1. I think they had a tie. Even though the Colts tried to change QBs to get the offense sparked, Matt Ryan, and they went from Matt Ryan to Sam Engler, the offense just couldn't get it done. Nothing was there. Frank Reich was also calling the offensive plays there, so that has a lot of people wondering about Brady's ability to call plays, or can he actually run the show? But he was also the quarterback's coach there as well, 2019 to 2020. And became the offensive coordinator when Nick Sirianni left for the Eagles. Another name that's flying around as well for the New York Jets, Darrell Bevell. Darrell Bevell's a guy a lot of people talking about. All right. We've heard his name before. That boy was with the Seahawks. We all know. Okay. He's the Dolphins QB coach currently at this point. He coached with Sulla in Seattle as well, so there's a lot of discussion surrounding that. A lot of people always wonder, hey, why does Sulla always have to hire his guys? Why does Sulla, there's a lot of people saying that. Why does Sulla always want to hire his friends? Well, this is a guy that, also has a quality resume as an offensive coordinator. Keep in mind, he's been an offensive coordinator for the Vikings, the Lions, the Seahawks, and the Jags. He's coached some quality quarterbacks in this league as well. Brett Favre, Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Trevor Lawrence. Now, keep in mind, we all watched that year with Trevor Lawrence was a bit up and down, but he still coached them, right? And Bevel, when you look at his offense, when you look at his output for his offenses, it's pretty much league average. He's pretty an average offensive coordinator when you look at his stats statistically over history. So there's other candidates as well that people are talking about. Joe Brady with the Bills. People are discussing him for the Jets offensive coordinator position. Some people think that would be a train wreck, but we're going to discuss that as well tonight. You also got Pep Hamilton out there as well. A lot of people talking about him currently with the Texans. Don't forget, Pep Hamilton used to be here too. He coached under Herm Edwards 2003 to 2005. So there's a lot of options out there for the New York Jets, but clearly you can see that there's a lot of guys within the search that have quarterback coach experience, right? So we're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing Lamar Jackson. Look, I've had discussions with fans left and right, and I want to hear from y'all. I'm just listening tonight, okay? There's a lot of Jets fans that I've talked to for some reason that don't want to have anything to do with trading for Lamar Jackson. I'm talking zero. I'm talking 0, 0, 0. They don't want to have nothing to do with it, okay? So we're going to discuss that. So we're going to get to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in, all right? Keep it matter wherever you're watching me from. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Share the stream with your friends and your family. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Also, for new callers, I'm sure my old veteran callers know this. Listen, when you call in, all right, make sure your phone's good to go. If I don't know you by name, I will call out your area code. Please know what your area code is. All right. If you don't know what your area code is, there's nothing I could do. Also, make sure your background is clear of noise. All right. If you sound like you in a muffler of an old Seville, I can't hear you. I need to be able to hear you. All right. And also, when you call in, there's no cursing on my show. Okay. It's a family show. You curse on my show a lot, I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than we got Mike LaFleur out of here. Get out of here, man. Find somebody to get in here and figure out what to do in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? Was that too soon? Was that too soon? Y'all let me know if it was too soon. We're going to get to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. Everybody be patient. Believe me, we will get to everybody. So first caller I'm going to Brandon, man. I'm going to my guy, Brandon. He's up. He's in early. Salutes to you, Brandon. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, my friend. It's always good to hear from you. Listen, Brandon, there's a lot of talk about the Jets offensive coordinator position. They're moving around, searching. A lot of guys coming in and coming out. What are your thoughts about their search so far? And is there a guy that you're looking to see them bring in that they haven't brought in yet?
Yeah. Hey, thank you for having me on. I mean, the Jets need to get it right? There's a bunch of talk how it's not Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas. It's not. They don't have a playoff mandate. I think that's full of crap. To be honest, but somebody who can coach at that position. Someone who can help Zach Wilson grow, because Mike LaFleur couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Mike LaFleur was a rookie. So was Zach Wilson, and it wasn't the right fit. Mm-hmm. So I've heard stories where they might interview the Georgia offensive coordinator,
Todd Monken. Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about Monken as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they just. I want somebody who can, focus on the off. I mean, we have good playmakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall. We have playmakers. We need somebody who can coach and coach the right way.
No, yeah,
But
and listen, Brandon, yeah, I mean, you're speaking absolute facts. You look at the situation, you definitely want to make sure you get a quality coaching here because, again, this is a vital step. You talked about it as well, about the Jets' playoff aspirations. We heard Woody Johnson come out and say that there is no playoff mandate next year for Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh, but like you said as well, and I talked about it last week on the show, I don't think Woody's necessarily telling the truth. We've seen him say things and not necessarily follow that up with some factual stuff. So I think if Saleh and them don't get it done next year, their job could be on the line. And that's going to be my next question to you is how hard will it be to attract an offensive coordinator here, a quality offensive coordinator with so much on the line and also being saddled with having the job of fixing Zach Wilson? Won't that be big on the mind of an offensive coordinator with all those questions up in the air? You got to worry about job security. Then you got to worry about fixing Zach Wilson. Could that absolutely make the Jets' job offensive or the offensive coordinator unattractive?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's not attractive. As we can see it with the there's no playoff mandate, but it could be very so where it's a 1 year and it's done, and there's a new regime coming in.
Yeah.
So it's not really attractive. It's not an attractive job as right now.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you get somebody who can come in and they have won playoff games, they have won in the Super Bowl, but who can really coach. But it's not an attractive job.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah, I'm a little worried myself as well. Us attracting quality names. There's been a lot of names and a lot of people talked about as well, and we'll see what happens going forward. But I want to move on with you, and I want to talk about the Jets quarterback position. We just discussed Zach Wilson just a little bit, but there's some names out there in free agency or names that we could trade for as well this upcoming offseason. And we've heard from Woody Johnson that he wants to spend big on the QB position if necessary. We also heard Saleh talk about attacking the quarterback position. So in your mind, should the New York Jets be all in for Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
Come on now. Don't run from it. Don't run now.
got her.
Don't run. Come on. Let's go. Give me. Should they be all in? Come on, Brandon.
Yes and no.
Oh.
He's injury prone. He's gotten hurt. He's a good quarterback. Especially with we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent on the offense. I would push for Lamar, but if there's other options out there, I would push for them too and see what we can get.
Hold on. Don't duck it. Now you're saying you're going to push for Lamar. We're going to stick there, okay? You're pushing for Lamar. If you're the Jets general manager, what is the most that you're willing to give up in a deal for the Ravens to get Lamar Jackson?
Second, third round pick.
A second and third round pick? You think that's going to get Lamar Jackson? 1 second and 1 third round pick? That's it, Brandon?
Maybe.
Oh, he said maybe. Wow. Brandon, that is not going to get Lamar Jackson, man. Not at all. You're probably going to have to, if that's your idea of a package, putting a package together to get Lamar, you're going to lose out, my friend. So I'm thinking if you're not willing to do that, you're probably going to go Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Yeah, I mean, the reason for Jimmy Garoppolo, it makes sense. Robert Saleh, he knows the scheme. He's been there with Jimmy Garoppolo, so I think that's also a good fit. But again, he gets hurt.
Well, hold on. Jimmy Garoppolo has a history of injuries, but Carr is a guy that's stable. But even when you look at the situation, when you talk about giving up capital, and there's a lot of people that have had that discussion, and we're going to get back to these lines in just a second. Listen, Lamar Jackson is unbelievably talented. The type of dynamic ability that he has, not just with his arm, but also with his legs as well. We've seen that. He's chopped us up using that. If you have to pay to get that, I'm just playing devil's advocate. If you have to give up 3 first-rounders to get that, and that's what I think the Jets will do, or Jets will have to do to get that type of talent in here, I think you get it done. We're just a quarterback away, right? We all know that. The defense is top-notch. We need a guy that can come out here and make plays. And to this point, Zach Wilson has not shown you that he's that guy, right? He hasn't shown you that he's that guy. So if you can step up and get a franchise quarterback, which Lamar Jackson is, then you make that happen, Brandon. Give me your final thoughts on this. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I would, would I want Derek Carr or Lamar Jackson? I'd rather have Lamar Jackson. I mean, the question is, what are you going to do with Zach Wilson, though? Like, are you going to sign Lamar Jackson to a 3-year deal, and then
honestly
have Zach Wilson sit?
Honestly, if you're getting Lamar Jackson in the building, then you're probably going to give him a 5-year deal, probably $50 million per. Zach Wilson's going to be sitting unless you're having a quarterback competition, which I do not believe he's going to beat Lamar Jackson. I think if we bring Mike White back, he's not going to beat him out. I'm just being completely honest, and I'm a Zach guy. Everybody knows that. But he ain't Lamar Jackson, dog. He ain't Lamar Jackson. But I got to get to these callers, Brandon. I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend?
All right, sounds good.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. I'm telling you, when I talk to people, different Jets fans, there's a lot of people that wouldn't believe me when I was saying, hey, there's a lot of Jets fans that don't want to have anything to do with Lamar Jackson. They're not willing to give up much capital. And if we can't get him for, you heard Brandon say, 2nd, 3rd round pick, that's it, they're willing to move forward. And I'm a little shocked, especially when you look at the type of talent that Lamar Jackson holds. But that's just me. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to 213. 213, I'm coming directly to you. Everyone else, hold on. We got a lot of callers. We'll get to everybody tonight. 213 salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. You're calling in early. Give me your name, where you're from, and give me your thoughts about the New York Jets offensive coordinator search. Do you like some of the guys they've brought in so far, or is there guys that you want to see them bring in that they haven't yet?
Hey, Joe, this is Bill. I'm calling in from a different number. I normally call from my Long Beach number.
Oh, salutes, Bill. How's it going, man? Salutes.
Good, man. So far, so good. How you doing?
I've been all right. Listen, I'm battling going back and forth with a lot of people. What are your thoughts about the Jets' offensive coordinator search so far? Kevin Patullo brought in for an interview. Marcus Brady brought in for an interview. What are your thoughts about the guys that they're interested in? A lot of people don't like Nick Caley. How are you feeling?
I'm just looking at some of these names I heard you mention. So at the top of the show, so I've been looking on the internet, and a lot of these guys, they're not with a lot of experience in the pro level. So if you talk about a Darrell Bevel, who's been around for a bit, and he was Brad Childress' disciple, I think behind the guy with some experience within the league and knows maybe the ins and outs. But a lot of these names, they're coming in early. Hopefully, it's early. They'll take their time. They'll get a lot of candidates in there. So hopefully. It's not; these aren't the guys who are going to be the final selections. There'll be some more names tossed around and brought in, but right now, not incredibly excited about the names that you mentioned.
Okay. Look, and I know that there's a lot of people that have said that as well, and I get it. Like I said, I'm a big Gary Kubiak guy. I don't know if that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. He's been out of football for a bit, but again, we run the same. He runs the same scheme. He's like the father of the scheme. He was one of the guys that helped build it. Frank Reich was a name that was thrown out there. But this is what I want to ask you, Bill. We heard Sulla also come out and talk about how they're not necessarily married to a scheme when they're looking for the next offensive coordinator, right? He can have a completely different scheme. They're willing to go with that. How much of a hindrance do you think that that's going to be to the Jets offense? Again, when you got new guys coming in, or you got, guys coming in and they have to learn a new scheme, wouldn't that kind of push the offensive system back a bit? Wouldn't that hurt us offensively if we do get a brand new scheme? Because also, wouldn't you have to worry about guys fitting the new offensive coordinator scheme as well?
Well, I think that's the problem. If you have a coordinator who's not experienced and is stuck with one scheme versus a guy like a Kubiak, which I hadn't heard, that would be incredible to get him, who can, he's going to, make his scheme fit the personnel. But to your point with the personnel, I think the bigger question is if you have if you're relying on Zach, that's gonna be an issue. He's a young guy, hasn't had a lot of experience. He's been changing his offensive system about every year since college. So I guess if you bring in a veteran, someone who's been around, who's going to be a little bit better at taking the lead at this sort of thing, it'll make it a lot easier for them to kind of integrate a new system, because you'll have a veteran who's experienced potentially with multiple systems already, who might have some better insight to kind of help everyone get that installed. So that's sort of like, when we take a look at it, we knew that they're going to be looking elsewhere for quarterback. So obviously they're going to want a veteran presence in there to kind of help out in that role. So regardless of who they end up with as coordinator, maybe they have experience with each other at some point, maybe not. But at the very least, if you have an older quarterback come in, he can help out with that process with everyone else. I think that would help the process a lot.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking like this, Bill, because I want to talk to you about the quarterback options as well for the New York Jets that could come up in free agency. But as we start to ponder about the offensive coordinator position, who actually is going to be hired, a list of names are swirling around. I'm starting to think that not only could the quarterback or could the coordinator situation kind of play out with Zach Wilson having to learn a new scheme, it could hurt him and it's kind of counterproductive to his growth as well. But also, what if a quarterback that we're looking at doesn't like the offensive coordinator that we bring in? Don't you think that could be a struggle too? Say a guy like, we bring in somebody, like say we bring in a Bevel, and we're looking to land Lamar Jackson. And we all know, I'm not saying he would do this, but we know players these days are very vocal. If they don't want to go somewhere, right, if they don't like something that you got going on over there, right, they will make it known that they don't want to go there. And also, let's say if it's Carr, right, let's look at it from that situation too. Let's say it's Derek Carr. Derek Carr has a no-trade clause. He can look at the situation and be like, yeah, I like Garrett Wilson, but I don't like that guy calling plays, right? I'm not going to go over there. I don't want to deal with Bevel. Could you see that possibly becoming a problem with the Jets attacking a quarterback situation in free agency?
Yeah, no, I agree. I was wondering about that also myself. I was like, how is it going to work in terms of timing? You get an offensive coordinator now. Like you said, maybe you have someone like Carr who's like, yeah, I'm not going to work with that guy, like you said. Yeah. Or you get the quarterback first, and then you're going to give him a little bit more control, I think, than, any control on who you pick or how's that going to work? We already have issues with control at the top in terms of who's calling what shots. Do they really want to complicate that? I think I have a lot of faith that Joe, despite everything we see, Joe Douglas he's in charge of Saleh. Saleh has given some latitude in terms of what the next decision is. Obviously, as he said himself, ownership is going to take a look in, and then, they own the team. But going back to what you said, I can only imagine that if they're going to go and want to take a shot at some of these other QBs that are going to hit the free agency market or just we have to trade for, you're probably going to want to have someone that universally is going to be revered as someone who has that success or has known in the league and is respected. And, maybe you don't want to go with a guy who's just coming out of like the college ranks and had 2 years in the pros as a coordinator and thinking that you're going to, like you said, you're going to lure over, the Lamar Jackson, whoever you want. So that's why I kind of lean towards you. Like I said, I was surprised by Kubiak. That's a huge name after looking at that. But it's someone with some kind of experience that you could just say, hey, look, we have this guy who's proven in the league for X number of years, and that's not even a question. We want to bring you in as a quarterback to work with him. Maybe that's the pitch you use. Yeah. But I don't know if you can bring in. You really, this has to be well thought out, because I don't think you can bring in any one of those guys with, like you said, an offensive coordinator where they're going to be like kind of what's the point?
Yeah. No, I mean you're speaking facts, and again, I'm not just thinking about it from a standpoint of a quarterback, right? We're bringing in. I'm also looking at our the guys we already have currently, some of the offensive players we have. And I'm saying, okay, if we're bringing in a completely different scheme, what is that going to do to the guys that we currently have on the roster? Because again, when Sulla first got here, remember we were having that issue. We didn't have guys that were that could run his scheme, and there was changes that needed to be made. And I'm wondering, okay, if we're all hoping that playoffs are the next step, the offense has already been struggling. You bring in a brand new scheme, then what's going to happen with some of the guys we have here? Are they going to adequately fit that scheme? And if they're not, then here we are again having to fix a lot of stuff, right? Whether it be offensive linemen that don't fit the scheme, wideouts that don't fit the scheme, so on and so forth. But as we continue going forward, and we're talking
they talk about
go ahead. Give me your thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, they talk about fitting the scheme. Specifically, everyone talks about the linemen for the running the Shanahan system, but you look at the guys they had in. I mean, these guys are in other systems in the past, and it's just a matter of your coordinator just knowing who he has and then just signing plays around those guys. So if you have a guy like LaFleur, the issue I think I mentioned before with LaFleur is he just got too cute and fancy with everything. And it's like, why are you putting this extra pressure on your guys? If you have guys who can't do something, you shouldn't keep calling those plays where it's an issue. So that was a big problem with Zach. It's like you have to simplify for him. So if you're trying to get cute and have a lot of moving parts and it confuses him, you're not putting your guys in a position to win. So I think if you got a coordinator in there and he's got to be on the same page with Sal, he's got to be on the same page with Joe, and he's got to be on the same page with Woody, that's going to be a guy who's going to understand that, okay, this is what we have. We spent a lot of resources to get these guys. We have to make it work, you know. As much as people talk about Tomlinson and, you know, he hasn't performed like he did in San Francisco, he's there for another year. That's the contract. He's there. As much as people are talking about Becton's going to be back. I mean, they're not going to probably trade that guy. I mean, it's like he's here. Let's use him. So we have these tools in place, and it's just going to be up to, like you've been stressing this whole call. It's up to the right pick a coordinator. And you're just getting a guy who's like, okay, here's this guy who's I'm looking at some of these names just tossed out. You know, he's in college his whole life, and he's with the Patriots the last couple of years. I mean, is that really a guy you want? Another guy who's a quarterback up in Canada, he's a coordinator in Canada. Okay, that's great and everything, but is that really what we need right now for a team that's positioned to win over the next couple of years if we get these two pieces right and we get healthy?
Yeah, and another thing as well, bringing in this is just, and again, I want to go back and forth. Listen, one of my other things about bringing in a veteran coordinator as well is also bringing in someone to help Sulla with the game management. Gary Kubiak, and again, I don't know if they're going to bring him in. Again, he's been out of football for a bit, but he's a guy that's been a head coach in this.
I'm going to quote you. I'm going to quote you that Joe's confirmed that Kubiak to New York. I'm going to put that on Twitter right now.
Don't do that. Don't do that. All right? Don't do that. You get your Twitter. Your Twitter gets smoked. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. They'll come after you left and right if something doesn't happen, all right? But I want somebody to also be able to come in and help Sulla too, because we've seen him struggle with game management and stuff like that before. Just another set of veteran eyes I think would help him. But again, we'll see what the Jets do. Now, my next and final question for you, we're looking at this situation. This Jets quarterback position is going to get attacked. We all know that. I just had a caller on a second ago. Didn't want to have anything to do with Lamar Jackson. Do you think the Jets should be all in for Lamar Jackson? Do you value the dynamic playmaking ability that he would be able to bring here? And if so, what is the most you're willing to give up to, fetch him from the Ravens?
Okay, well, personally, yes, I think you go all in and you bring him in. I think when he came out of the draft and he got picked 32nd, Baltimore traded back in just to get him so he can get that extra year on the rookie deal for the first rounders. Obviously everyone knew he kind of slipped for a number of reasons, and he's done nothing but show and prove that he's a top-tier quarterback in the league. The issue, a couple of things that I have is it's making me nervous that Baltimore is kind of dragging their feet because, Joe came up in the Baltimore organization, so he knows people over there. So I'm thinking that he could probably hear some things that we don't hear. So, either he's going to make a run for it, so we should be encouraged to go, okay, well, he must know some inside stuff. But if he kind of is dragging his feet, then he also may have heard some stuff that kind of indicates that maybe this isn't the move to make. Not that Joe's been perfect all the time, but I just something in the back of my head, kind of, since he probably has some contacts and that he would know a little bit about. But I think the bigger issue that I don't think it's going to happen with Lamar is that he's going to want to be paid, maybe not fully guaranteed, but he's going to want like a Watson kind of deal where he's going to get a big guarantee. And as much as Woody,
he's going to want about $50 million.
As much as Woody keeps talking about, like, he's going to open up the wallet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not going to open up the wallet. I think we all know he's not going. He's not going to put the team on the map to be the one or two highest paid players in the league. We know that's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
We just know that.
You don't think
that's
so?
Why.
Listen,
Woody, really? You think so?
Let me listen, Bill. I get where you're coming from. We've been here, okay? We've been here. Don't make me laugh. I'm trying to make a good point here. Hold me down. Listen, let me try this, all right?
Okay.
Listen, I understand Woody has been cheap at times, right? We've seen them, but
alligator arms.
If we're turning things around here, right, and we're a different franchise, right? When you look at the situation, what do the Johnsons love more than anything? Selling tickets. That's what they want to do. We all know that, right? They want to fill that stadium. They want you to get into that toaster, buy all the drinks, all the food, everything, and then leave, right? That's that's been the thing, right? Here's the deal. You put Lamar Jackson in a Jets jersey, you tell me those things ain't going to sell? You put Lamar Jackson in a Jets jersey, You put Lamar Jackson in the Jets jersey, that pretty much is the Jets going to the playoffs. You don't think that he's going to be excited about all that TV money that's going to come in? All those W's. You know how much they can charge for tickets if Lamar Jackson's a Jet? Come on, Bill. You don't think he'll do it? If he wasn't going to do it, I don't think he would have ever come out and said that he'd pay. But I think he'd do it. Now, again, like you said as well, I think we have to give up some capital. But $50 million, right, per year is what I think you're going to have to give Lamar Jackson to be here. 5 years, $50 million per, probably fully guaranteed is what I think it's going to take for him to sign a contract here. But listen, it's a quarterback. It's a quarterback, Bill. Bill's a quarterback. Look, he's a playmaker. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I know everybody's going woo, and we'll get to the callers in just a second, believe me. I know everybody's saying woo, but guess what? The reason why everybody's going woo is because we've never had that here. The last time we had a guy that we tried to sign and keep around that was Chad Pennington, right? It's been a long time since that. You look at quarterbacks today, they are getting paid. Look at how much Ryan Tannehill's getting paid. And the Titans got him, and it's like, it's a franchise guy. Yeah, but and again, like you said, it's Ryan Tannehill. Nobody think, but he's getting paid pretty decently. He got paid pretty decently there. Look at how much a lot of these other top guys are getting paid, though. We can rack them up. Mahomes and all these other guys, they're getting paid a boatload of money. Mahomes literally owns Kansas City. He owns like half the city. He might own the stadium, too. You know what I'm saying, Bill? Patrick, can I hold $1? You know what I'm saying? Can I get a 10? Can I get a 20? I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm saying, can I hold $1? I got bills. You know what I'm saying? But these guys are getting paid like that. So a quarterback, the most important position, the face of your franchise, you got to get him in the building. So give me your final thoughts before I let you go on that, man.
Okay. Well, the final thoughts are, I understand what you're saying. I totally agree. Like I said, if I were sitting in the seat, I would go for that route. But I think the two issues you're going to have is that Woody's not going to spend that much money for that long and guaranteed. I think more likely he's going to want to get a veteran. And I had a nightmare last night. I woke up screaming that Tom Brady was brought in as the Jets QB.
Oh, my God.
And as crazy as that sounded to me in my brain,
Bill,
I was thinking
Bill.
It makes sense.
Oh, my goodness. Come on.
I think it was. You talk about making money. Talk about making money. What would the ratings be for Belichick versus Brady for those last 2 years? What do you think? I hated the idea. I woke up sick, but it made it to me because you get Brady for 1 year on a cheaper contract and 5-year commitment. I think Woody would like that. I think we'd sell the jerseys. I think you have a veteran QB in there who could sit there, and you'd have Zach, and if you can get Mike White cheap because Brady's there for a year, he might hang around to develop his stock right now because he's not going anywhere on a big contract. Mm-hmm. And then in a year, if it doesn't work out, if Zach's there, if he doesn't work out, you washed out with him because you're stuck with him anyway. So I just had that nightmare. I'm not saying that's what I want or what I would do. I'm just saying that if you're talking about spending that amount of money, I don't see Woody doing that for 5 years guaranteed. That's just the biggest. That's the one thing that I can't get over. I would do it.
Well, I tell you what, if you want a young dynamic playmaker and you want to attack the market, well, we'll see. Listen, Bill, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. You know I love going back and forth with you.
You're the man.
All right, you have a good one. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Also, my new callers, be patient, everybody. We will get to everybody. Believe me. We are talking tonight. Salutes to all of the Savages. Jay Johnson, everybody in the chat. Hawkeye, Sandman, Bond, Monty. Salutes to you as well. Listen, Jay Johnson's got a lot to say, man. Jay Johnson says, I love Lamar, but we can't afford to give up the draft capital. There's a lot of people talking about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm looking at the situation. If you can grab this guy, he's a franchise changer. He would give us everything that we would need, everything that we've been looking for from the most important position on the field, something we've been lacking and been searching for I don't know how long. And you can bring out the names, right? We tried it. Geno Smith, Bryce Petty, Christian Hackenberg, Sam Darnold. To this point, Zach Wilson, right? We've been trying to find a guy. We haven't found him. We're a QB away. We're a QB away. A lot of people think that. So we'll hear it. But salute to all the Savages. Keep going. We'll come to you guys in a second. Ask your questions. We'll get to y'all. We're going to keep getting back to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to Mike. Mike, I'm coming directly to you. 813. My guy, Mike. Salutes to you, Mike. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, Mike, we're talking Jets. We're talking quarterbacks. I got people telling me that they don't want Lamar Jackson. What say you, man?
Well, I'm saying the same thing, Joe. Good to hear
Whoa.
from you, though. Thank
Salutes.
you for picking me up.
Salutes, Mike. Give me your thoughts. Why don't you want Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Well, Lamar Jackson's going to play 10 games before getting hurt.
Oh, man.
So, say we go 8-2. Who's playing the rest of the games for us?
Who says
Zach
that?
Wilson.
Who says that though? A lot of people
He's
talk.
been hurt.
Mhm.
He's been hurt the last 2 years. He's been hurt the last 2 years.
Mhm.
You're saying he's great with his legs, but he only has one leg.
Oh, come on, Mike. Listen.
And his stats have only been going down.
Listen.
You're not going to invest
Mhm.
all that $50 million,
Mhm.
all the draft picks. You're going to invest all that for a guy that's going to be hurt.
Well, I don't think
Guaranteed.
I don't think you're necessarily. I don't think you're necessarily giving all that money for him to be hurt. I think there's a lot of things going on with the Ravens. When you talk about stats, when you talk about offense, you also got to look at the Ravens are not surrounding him with much offensive weapons. What wideouts do they have that really scare you? Nobody, right? There's been pieces.
Bateman maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing there to help him. And then again, when you look at the team without him, they're completely different than they are with him. There's also questions about his protection. There's been questions about his protection for years, right? But if you look at the ability, the playmaking ability, you clearly see that the Ravens are a different football team without him out there. This is a guy that put the team on his back, been an MVP before. He's drugged that team to the playoffs. They wouldn't have got there without him.
Don't get me wrong. It would be super exciting to have him as doing an RPO with Brees Hall. That would make defenses have diarrhea. They wouldn't know what to do. Okay, and then he has receivers to throw to as well. I mean, that would be fantastic. But for maybe only 10 games, that's the problem.
I don't know about
He'll
that.
get hurt.
I don't know about
Again.
that. I think he'll be all right. So
Well,
if you're
look at the last 2 years.
Okay.
Look at the last 2 years.
if you're passing on Lamar Jackson, all right, because you have concerns, even though again he's a franchise changer, right? He completely changed the trajectory of your franchise. You're moving away from him. What are you doing at the quarterback position then? Who are you going after? Are you going after Aaron Rodgers?
Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, this conversation that we're having is moot until you get an offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Until you know who the coordinator is, what his scheme is, and how his blocking scheme is. I listened to some of the other podcasts. I remember Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, right? And he, after the season, he came out and he actually said things about LaFleur, saying that he was way too rigid. The blocking scheme really didn't give a lot of leeway.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were not in sync with each other, you saw open people coming in, and you saw that ever since the Buffalo game. Look at Mike White; he's getting crushed. He broke all his ribs, right? So it was all of that, along with his receivers had to be very precise and on timing. Remember Salah saying in the last season, "Oh, Zach's doing so much better. He's reacting. He's not thinking anymore." The problem is that as soon as he makes a mistake, he's worried about the next thing or whatever it is from the coordinator, right? Look at when he did well. He did well when it was off script, when he didn't have to stay in that system, when he didn't have to play by the rules. He was fantastic.
Yeah, but you can't build an offense around that.
Two other people. No.
You can't build an offense
around that. Were just like that.
Go ahead.
Elijah Moore wasn't very precise with his routes. Mims got not precise with his routes or not knowing where to go or whatever the case may be. Got benched, right? Those guys play more freelance along with Zach Wilson than in a super structured offense. That's what the problem was. It was too structured. He didn't want to change. LaFleur didn't want to change. He didn't adapt. And that was the problem.
Here's the and I hear what you're saying. But there can be arguments made for Mike LaFleur though, because there was quite a bit of injuries up front, particularly to our offensive line. We all know massive guys, ATV, all those guys were gone. But here's the deal: is that this system?
That's when you have to change.
Yeah, but this system does not ask your quarterback to do much. You can't play off script and go do whatever, because again, when they were asking Zach Wilson to hit wide open guys, he couldn't do that. Right? You can go off script and be as nice as you want to do, but if you can't hit screen passes where guys are wide open, if you're throwing the ball 10 yards over their head.
Berrios had to grow another 3 or 4 feet tall.
He just had to go 4 feet tall overnight. That would have been completed, right? When you're throwing passes
4
behind
feet tall,
guys,
maybe he
yeah,
could have caught that.
yeah, but
Maybe he could have
but when guys are schemed open, right, you have to hit those guys. So I understand what you're talking about. I had issues with LaFleur's play calling in the red zone, not so much his play calling like in other spots as well. But
it's the Minnesota.
That Minnesota game was terrible.
say.
That was terrible. So before I let you go, Mike, because you're bringing some heat, my final question for you is: you look at the situation of offensive coordinator. You talked about a guy. What guy do you want brought in? Who is the offensive coordinator that you want to see end up with the New York Jets? Quickly.
I don't know.
Come on,
Kubiak,
Mike.
maybe.
Don't duck
more
it.
Experience.
Don't duck.
No.
Give me
Honestly,
a name.
To tell you the truth, Joe, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know these guys coming out. I think that they want a guy that's going to be experienced. Exactly, Joe.
Come
Thank
on,
you.
Mike. Mike said, "I don't know. I don't know. Just give me something."
No idea, man.
All right. Listen, I hear you. Like I said, I like Kubiak. They've brought in guys, Patullo. I'm looking for Brian Johnson. See when they bring him in.
Maybe
Nick Caley,
the guy from Georgia. Yeah, the guy
Munkin.
from Georgia.
Okay, Munkin.
University of Georgia.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Take it. You see?
You know why? Because that's fresh.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
See, that wasn't so hard. Now, wasn't, Mike? Listen, Mike, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
You got it, Joe.
All right, you have a good one. Mike called in. I need takes, man. I need takes. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers again. Please be patient. We're getting to everybody. Got new callers. Please be patient. Next, I'm getting to my guy, Ted. Ted, I'm coming directly to you. We're coming to Ted. Ted, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, for those of you that do not know Ted, that boy's a savage. That boy's a savage. Listen, salutes to you, Ted. We're talking quarterbacks. We're talking offensive coordinators, Ted. Give me your thoughts, man. How are you feeling about the Jets offensive coordinator search? And is there a guy that you want to see brought in to become the New York Jets offensive coordinator?
It's moving along. A lot of names, a lot of young, inexperienced, generally coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they do bring in a young gun, I got a feeling they're going to try to do rehab Zach and see what they can get out of him. But I'm looking a little bit out of the box right now.
Mm-hmm.
And once the Giants lose, perhaps if they do, which I'm not sure if they will, I would look at Mike Kafka and make him a assistant head coach.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Because he was the offensive consultant for under Andy Reid,
mm-hmm.
and he's done it under Dable. And that's the first time calling plays.
Okay.
So if you're going to go with a young guy, but I don't know if he'll consider this a step up for in his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He may want to stay where he's at or go maybe even get a head coach opening, offering somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I would call the Giants as soon as if they lose, I would make the call right away to Mike and see if Mike Kafka is interested.
Okay. So when you look at that situation, and you're talking about bringing a guy in,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, no play calling ability, or he hasn't necessarily been, the lead play caller. How much of a concern is that for you to bring in, these guys that don't necessarily have like play calling history, right? We talk about the young guys. We talk about Patullo. We're talking about other guys as well. Aren't you concerned? Because that was kind of the same issue that we had with LaFleur, right? When LaFleur first came in, they were like, hey, he's just trying to learn his chops. He's getting it together. And then this year we saw kind of the struggling as well, kind of with the play calling. Wouldn't that lead you more in the direction of wanting to bring in a veteran play caller?
I would think so, Joe. We can't afford another OC on training wheels anymore because our head coach is, kind of on thin ice at this point. I just don't know what kind of quality play caller you're going to get who's experienced at this point. Bevel, I guess, would be the obvious one, and him and Salah coached in Seattle, but maybe that's a little too buddy-buddy-ish. Maybe we need somebody from outside, and I don't know, Joe. I almost thought about blowing this whole thing up and getting rid of Salah.
Wow.
And keeping Joe Douglas.
Wow.
At the end of the season, I really had a thought about and then going for a Frank Reich or somebody with head coaching experience and developing his next quarterback.
After
And,
2 years, though, Ted, you were ready.
Maybe the days.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I really want to hear that. After 2 years, Ted, at that point, you were like, look, I want to move on from this guy. You had seen enough in your mind already to even think about saying, look, Sulla's got to go. I'm ready to go with somebody else.
Joe, I said I thought about it. But let me say this, Joe. My last call to you was the team faded under Salah.
Yeah.
Every aspect. You go out and see the Giants, okay? They don't have as much talent, but darn it, I almost said curse. They fire on all cylinders. Mm-hmm. They look like probably the most prepared team in the NFL right now. Mm. I mean, they're on it. Everything's on. Us, everything's a flounder. Mm. I mean, our punter can't punt. We can't cover a punt against New England. Yeah. Our best, one of our best players can kick a 50-something-year-old field goal. Mm-hmm. That's like, so many of these guys are obviously our quarterback was an issue, our offensive line was an issue. Injuries happen, but it's almost like I think Salah should have took control and said, listen, LaFleur, unless LaFleur was trying to force his way out at some point, knowing he was going to get fired. But he should have said, LaFleur, man, we're not doing it. When we're scoring 6 points a game or whatever we're scoring, you're going to have to do something different, Mike. Mm-hmm. My butt's on the line and your butt's on the line. Yeah. Salah should have stepped in at some point during the season. Yeah, just my opinion, Joe.
No, listen, and I hear you. Again, down the stretch, and we talked about that. It was tough, though, especially, again, I think they finished their last 3 games without scoring a touchdown. We went 31 possessions with no TDs, 6-game losing streak. Yeah. But, again, you had and I'm not trying to give excuses to Mike LaFleur for those of you that think I am, but I just got to be real. Mm-hmm. You had Zach Wilson out there in those games. He was terrible. And so when you look at the situation, and even LaFleur, I think at one point kind of started opening the door to show behind the scenes where he came out. He was the first coach to come out and say Zach Wilson could have benefited from sitting behind a veteran. Did anybody else remember hearing that? He's the only coach that has said that. He was the first one to say it. And I think that was just a little bit of kind of afterthought. Like, man, this guy, he didn't have it right away. And again, you saw him struggle. And I think that was a big part of the New York Jets offensive struggles when you can't when you can't trust your quarterback to run your scheme till its full capacity. Mm-hmm. Boy, your play calling is going to be limited. And we saw that. I talked to Mike a second ago.
Let me ask you a question then.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. Why wouldn't the floor go to Sal and say, hey, man, we need to go to Mike White. Shouldn't he go to the coach and say, hey, man, this is not going to work. This is not working.
Listen, and
who's in charge of the ship?
From what we know, okay, at points, that's been talked about. There's been a lot of rumors swirling that there was people in the building. There was a rumor, remember recently, that Sulla wanted to start Mike White from the jump. That they said that Mike White off the bat was better than him. There's been rumors swirling about that.
I bet you regret that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, that's been swirling back and forth, but maybe they had discussions and just decided, again, we're going to stick with the young guy going forward. So, as they continue to search for the offensive coordinator, we'll figure things out. But I want to get to this quarterback situation with you, and this is going to be my final question for you. There's a lot of people on the line saying they don't want to have nothing to do.
I don't want Lamar.
You don't want Lamar Jackson either? What is going on? Is there something happening that I don't know anything about? Have y'all found out that he's like an alien or something, and he has to go back to his planet, and he's never going to play football again on Earth? Like, can somebody please tell me why nobody wants Lamar Jackson? What is your reason, Ted? What is happening?
Joe. My reasons, if you could get him at a decent price, but you're going to spend a lot of draft capital when we're cutting Corey Davis. We don't have a decent offensive line. We don't have a pass rusher other than Quinnen, who's an interior lineman. Okay. Carl Lawson, I don't know what's going to happen with him. You got to hope these young players develop. Like Jermaine Johnson, Clemens. That's not a guarantee. We have an offensive line that is in shambles, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
We have to find linemen
Yeah.
who can stay healthy.
Yeah.
To me, I would go with Derek Carr, save a little bit of money, be able to sign some competent, maybe offensive lineman, draft another one, hope Mackay comes back. Lamar will not survive this offensive line.
Oh, my God.
I don't think he would.
Okay.
He would have made it.
Here's the deal, and I'm going to give you the final word on this, but quickly. We have the fourth overall best defense in the league. Okay, we do have pass rushers. You got you got Carl Lawson, you got Jermaine Johnson, you got Quinnen Williams, we got Huff as well. There's a bunch of names. Rankins played well this year as well, getting after the QB. We got guys that can get after the passer. Could we add another one? Sure. But what we don't have and what we haven't had, and I don't know how long, is a franchise quarterback. The second you get Lamar Jackson in the building, he is your franchise quarterback. Not only is he your franchise quarterback, but he's your franchise quarterback and you're 26. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I do not understand how you pass up that type of talent, the dynamic ability that he brings to the table. We've never had a runner from the quarterback position with the chops that Lamar Jackson has in our franchise history. Everything that he can bring to the table would make this offense automatically explosive. How do we pass that up because we don't want to get rid of a couple of first rounders? All right. Joe Douglas is going to put pressure on him to hit in those mid rounds, but we've seen him be able to produce there, right? Breece Hall, guy second round pick. We got Elijah Moore in the second round. We've seen other guys step up from later on in the draft. How do you not give away the capital to get something that completely changes the trajectory of your franchise? That's just my thoughts on it. Give me your final word. I'll give you the last word on it.
I gotcha. I agree with you in theory. I agree with the theory, but I think we're more than a quarterback away. I see a lot of holes.
Okay.
Our safeties didn't play well. Whitehead didn't play well. Our offensive line is in shambles. Corey Davis can't catch. He certainly can do a lot of false starts and holdings. I just see it's. I don't think we're as clean, Joe. We're not as clean cut as everyone says.
Okay.
We do have a lot. We do have to add quite a few pieces.
Okay.
I know we have the number. You can look at rankings and things.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, we faded. We faded during the year. We couldn't turn the ball over. We may have ranked fourth, but we had we hardly any, strip sacks, interceptions. I mean, the Patriots had 7 defensive touchdowns. We had none. I mean, that's what I'm looking at, Joe.
Okay.
I think we should get Derek Carr and add a bunch of other pieces and draft.
Okay.
That's the way I would go.
No.
But, everyone's got their opinion.
No, and I hear you. And I'll tell you
Love
what.
the show, Joe.
We were, I hear you. We were in every single game, though. If we had a quarterback, the likes of Lamar Jackson, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate, the Jets could have really did some things. But listen, Ted, I got other callers. I got to slide off. It's always great to talk to you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right, my friend?
Joe.
All right. You have a good one.
You too, Joe.
Thank you.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good one. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Be patient when you do call in. We're getting to everybody tonight. I want to know why nobody wants Lamar Jackson. I want to hear from you. All right. Next, we're going to my guy, Steve. Steve, we're coming directly to you. Listen, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Steve. Oh my goodness. Steve is absolutely he's put himself to sleep with bad takes. Oh. Y'all hear Steve snoring? Are you serious, Steve? Oh my God. Steve is in here absolutely snoring. Are you serious? He's put himself to bed with his bad takes. You got to be kidding me. Steve, snoring on the job. We're going to get to the next caller. My goodness. Steve, with his bad takes, put himself to sleep. We're going to keep getting on these lines. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Hopefully you're awake because Steve put himself to bed with his bad takes. Jake, we're coming directly to you. Jeez, we got Steve the snoring train on the line. Goodness gracious. Did you hear that? Jeez, get a CPAP. We're going to keep rolling. Jake salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. For those of you that do not know Jake, that boy's a savage, man. Savage. Jeez Louise. Jake salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. Steve's on a snoozer. Give me your thoughts about the Jets offensive coordinator position. What are your thoughts about the situation, and have they brought in anyone that you like so far and you want to see become the Jets coordinator?
So first, Happy New Year. I only have talked to you since that wonderful night, that Thursday night, watching Zach Wilson have a Hall of Fame performance. So good to see you again.
Good to see you. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, that was just such a wonderful night of happiness for everybody. But whatever, that shows the truth how horrible he is. But so yeah, listen, this year was, just to recap, I haven't really talked in a few weeks. So look, this season was not a great way to end it. I don't really blame Sal as much as people do. I actually don't even really blame LaFleur as much as what happened this year. I think he really just got screwed with every situation possible. Was he predictable at times in his game plan? Yeah, but I think he showed you early enough in the season. I even said on this phone call when we beat the Bills, I was like, even with Zach Wilson winning, I said this guy, they know what they're doing. And but I think LaFleur got a raw deal. I really do. I think he's going to do a great job in LA. I don't like watching coaches I do like get fired. I think he will do a good job. I think he has a lot of promise ahead of him. But, now we're in this situation. I'm just going to kind of collectively tell you what I think right now.
Go ahead.
People, why we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers, I think is insane right now.
Okay.
I think getting Aaron Rodgers here listen, and this is a situation where Aaron Rodgers had to spend a year where he had to reflect and realize, listen, I lost Devontae Adams. I took the money. I was comfortable. I liked where I was. I thought this division was going to be horse manure. He's starting to realize now the Lions are better. Justin Fields or whoever the quarterback, it should be Justin Fields. I think they're insane because I would trade for him still. The Bears are going to slowly rebuild and be improving. The Vikings, maybe this is the end for them. They're seriously keeping Kirk Cousins. I think they need mental help at this point because I think that guy's just never going to win. I'll compare Cousins to the other quarterbacks that are out there in a second. But Aaron Rodgers now is in a situation where he realizes, look, I've got this 2 years left on my contract. I want the best roster that's going to help me win. I know everyone will say, you know what? Oh, what's he alluding to? Is this that the Tom Brady Buccaneers? I have to say, yeah, I kind of am saying that finally. You know what? He's looking at a roster that is almost about fully complete, needs a few offensive linemen, not including the injuries that are coming back with ABT.
Yeah.
And then Matt Mitchell, Becton, it's kind of a lost cause with him. Excuse me. They're going to have Breece Hall back. They've got a good receiving core. They can get another receiver. They need some linebackers because they have not addressed the linebacker position at all. So you address those things. You're talking about a team right now that heavily can be inspired to have him there. The New York media. Look, if he goes on the the Pat McAfee show every week, he's already getting national attention every week. People forget that he talks now. I think it's more of a conspiratorial type show at times. I'm not going to get into politics right now, but the fact is he handles the media better than people realize. Is he prickly? Is he kind of a, you know what? Yeah, I do. I think the COVID thing pissed me off with him. But the reality is that at the end of the day, that's the bare bones of business. The bare bones of business is that we want to win a Super Bowl. Guys, we don't have a franchise quarterback.
Facts.
We have not had a franchise quarterback in decades.
Facts.
Okay? I can't tell you if anyone who's going to sit here and tell me that having Aaron Rodgers is a bad thing.
Okay, so
you know what Aaron Rodgers does? Win.
Yeah, he does. And I don't mean to cut you off, Jake, but you're giving us some takes right now. So you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to discuss him tonight as well. We've been talking about Carr, Lamar. I talked a little bit about Aaron. Now, Aaron coming here, he's basically averaging about $50 million per year, right? So that's already going to be there. What is the trade package that you would be looking to send to the Packers to get him? Are you willing to part with 3 first-round picks? What is the maximum amount of capital you're looking to give the Packers to get him if you're the Jets general manager?
Well, based on his contract, now I will be frank that there's going to be some cap stipulations they still have to deal with.
Yeah.
Which I think is something that I think JD, why JD should be the general manager and for a long foreseen future, because he actually knows how to handle the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
Is they have to finagle exactly what the cap cuts they're going to have to make, along with Lawson and Corey Davis and all the guys who are going to go through down the list. But they'll put themselves in a position, and I think at that point, based on the salary, Green Bay is really kind of not in any position to demand what they want for him. So I don't think, honestly, I people said I'm even crazy to think it's even just 2 first-round picks. Some people are saying a first-rounder and a third-rounder, maybe a first and maybe a conditional second-round pick. I think he's going to be even cheaper. But dear God, Lamar Jackson, I'll tell you my disdain for not wanting him. Period. But the point is, it's just Aaron Rodgers. I think is going to be a more affordable guy. He gives you that 2-year window. I think Saleh does deserve 2 years if he gets Rodgers here with. And I'm about to say my next point to you because I know everyone's asked about offensive coordinator. Give him Nathaniel Hackett. Get the guy from Green Bay that worked for him.
Okay.
Nathaniel Hackett He was not a head coach. He was scrutinized for how he was a head coach. He was a terrible head coach. Russell Wilson's not the same quarterback. You can't blame them all for that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just think about this for a second. Do you really think that he wanted to come here and play with another LaFleur? As much as Saleh and them have that relationship, there could have been rumblings saying, look, I like the Jets. I like Saleh. I don't like LaFleur. I don't like these LaFleur guys. I want to leave Green Bay. I don't want to deal with the LaFleurs anymore. I liked what I had with Hackett. He probably would have said, if Hackett stayed as the head coach. But at the end of the day, it's like, he wasn't going to fight for that job. Everyone's going to say, oh, he's going to fight to go to Denver. Well, at the end of the day, we don't know what the compensation was. We don't know what the situation was. So the bottom line is that they may look at Russell Wilson a different way. I don't know. So maybe that's the one thing that negated my question is about how much he loves Hackett, but it was only positives of his time there.
Yeah.
I think the two of them together
would lift the Jets franchise.
You got all the weapons, all the might.
Okay.
Yeah. And all the might. This is where I think this is the home run situation. I will lean on this argument all the way.
Okay. Listen, Jake, you brought some great takes, man. It's been phenomenal speaking with you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. There's a lot of people that are pulling for Aaron Rodgers as well. I can't argue against it. He'd be a solid addition as well. It'd speed us up a little bit because he is older. He's a 40-year-old guy. And I know a lot of people don't like Lamar Jackson, but I respect your takes in bringing in Hackett. Again, like you said as well, not the greatest head coach, but he's a guy that might be able to coach some offense around here. So, Jake, I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. You have yourself a good one.
Good night, Joe. We're not getting Lamar Jackson, so I'll leave it on that. Bye-bye.
You have a good one. A lot of people hate – what is the deal with people not liking Lamar Jackson, man? We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, I'm going to Dwayne. Dwayne, I'm coming directly to you. My guy from North Carolina, Val, David, other callers as well. Hold on. We're getting to everybody, but I'm going to Dwayne. 347, we're coming directly to you. Dwayne, salutes, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, Dwayne, I'm going back and forth with a lot of people, man. And they do not want Lamar Jackson. I'm playing devil's advocate here, all right? What are your thoughts about the situation? I'm a guy right now saying Lamar is going to change the trajectory of this franchise. He's the franchise quarterback we've been looking for. He's got all the ability. He's 26. He's going to be here. Give him 5 years, $50 million per. Turn the Jets around. Make us a playoff team. Make it happen. Get the job done. What say you, man?
Well, I wanted Lamar Jackson from the get-go. I wanted to draft him.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
The caveat was, and the only thing that put him down my list was he had a playing style that usually or could leave him susceptible to injury. And as we can see, that's what happened. The last 2 years, he missed, 10 games combined?
Yeah.
So I would love to have Lamar Jackson. He's pretty much guaranteed a playoff to bring us to the playoffs, almost regardless of what OC we have. But when we get to the playoffs, will he be there? That's the question. Will he be there in critical games that could put us in good position in the playoffs? That's the question.
But can you argue, and I don't mean to cut
really-
you off, Dwayne, but can you argue that the Ravens haven't done enough to surround him with the type of talent that could keep him upright, right? We've all known that they've struggled with their offensive line. They've struggled protecting him throughout his time there. And often his ability to run with the football, has been the saving grace because he's been able to get himself out of so many bad situations that the line would put him in, right? I'm playing devil's advocate here. Okay, I'm gonna go to the mountain for my guy Lamar. Listen, we're talking about what we're seeing here. Everybody's talking about the numbers. Listen, if you didn't have anybody out there wide out, right, what would your numbers look like? This guy's been an MVP before. This guy is dragging his team to the playoffs. The Ravens are a completely different football team without Lamar Jackson on the field offensively, right? He is their weapon. You know? I mean, come on. Where's the respect in that? Why can't we look at it from that position? What are your thoughts on that, Dwayne?
My thoughts is same thing as I thought before we drafted Sam Darnold, and I wanted Lamar Jackson. I'm scared of the RG3 situation.
Oh,
I'm sorry. So he's been, I don't know if the word is lucky, but he's made it through some injuries, come back, played well. I guess you can say he declined a little bit, or maybe not this year because he did throw like 17 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. So I mean, how much? It's hard to say. For this is the issue. It's not that Lamar Jackson isn't good or has a high ceiling. It's what are we trading for him? If we're trading 2 first-round picks and we have questions like this, that's a lot for these questions. We don't know if he's a 4,000-yard passer, a 2,500-yard passer, and a 1,500-yard runner. And then the injury situation, can he, even if we had a good offensive line in front of him, good wide receivers, can he just sit there in the pocket and pass to these good wide receivers that we're going to have?
Yes, we've
These
seen
are the
that.
questions. For 2 first-round picks, that's a lot.
Hold on.
So,
Listen,
me
hold
personally,
on a second, Dwayne. And I hear you. But it seems like people are just completely forgetting that this is a quarterback. All right? I understand the 2 to 3 first-round picks, but let me tell you something. It's a quarterback. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, right? You look at the situation with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was often injured too, right? But Jets fans were over the moon about the guy. They wanted him through and through. Guess what? Cleveland gave up 3 first-round picks, I think 1 third and 2 fourth-round picks to him, and they guaranteed him, they gave him $46 million per. $46 million per. Deshaun Watson was injured quite a bit too, right? He was getting hit left and right. Nobody cared about that. You look at the situation with Lamar Jackson. This guy's moving, shaking. He is the Ravens. He clearly is their leading passer. He's their starting quarterback, 2,242 yards. He's their leading rusher too, 764 yards this season. Has 3 TDs. You count that with the 17. That's 20 TDs from one guy. Come on. I mean, why are we not getting on the Lamar train here? Okay, you got to give up 2 first-round picks. Fine. For one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league, right? Can run, can do every single thing you ask him to do. Is that really much to give up when you have a history of not being able to find a franchise quarterback? I'll give you the final word, Dwayne.
Deshaun Watson was a 4,000-yard passer. I mean, Deshaun Watson was 30-plus touchdowns per year. He was, like they said, he was Michael Jordan in cleats. Lamar Jackson, to me, these last 2 years should have been his show-me years, and these last 2 years were filled with injuries. So if he would have completed these last 2 years and he had 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,500 yards passing, I would have been like, okay, that's two first-rounders. But he ended his rookie contract with 2 injured years, didn't even play in these. We're talking about a quarterback that didn't play in the last playoffs. This team is in the playoffs. He's not even there. So that's the question. But I do just want to add, for the OC position, I already feel like this offseason is an L. But it's a wasted offseason to me. Because I wanted LaFleur, man. It made no sense. So unless we get Frank right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro! This off season is a waste. So you're telling me we need to get over the hump to get to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Talk
so
to
we
me.
get rid of LaFleur, even though he's the quarterback's problem. So now we need a veteran offensive coordinator who probably has some head coaching experience, and we need a veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
So the growing pains are shortened, cut in half. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Darryl Bevell is a little bit of a something I want to, because he had interim head coach experience. He had past coordinator, offensive coordinator. But if it's not Frank Reich and somebody like the last guy was saying, Aaron Rodgers, I'm with Steve, man. I'm tired of this crap.
Wow.
Steve, if you can hear me, I'm tired of this crap too, bro. I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you, Steve.
Listen, Steve, he heard he was thinking about his own takes. He put himself to sleep. All right? Steve put himself to sleep. Listen, Dwayne, I want to thank you for calling in. All right? Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. I got to slide off. You have yourself a good night.
All right, have a good night.
We're going to keep getting to these lines. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Please keep in mind when you call in, don't curse. It's a family show. If you curse on my show, I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than Steve can snooze. That's fast, man. Faster than Steve can fall asleep off the no-dos. That's fast, man. Faster than Steve needs a CPAP. That's fast, man. Damn, that was 3 back-to-back. Wake up, Steve. We need you, man. Takes a terrible. Put himself to sleep. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy from North Carolina. Val, David, other callers. Hold on a second. Salutes to my guy from North Carolina. Listen, we got guys. Steve in here. He's needing the sleep therapy. You know, we're keeping it rolling. Listen, we've been talking all night tonight, right? We got a lot of people saying they do not want Lamar Jackson. What are your thoughts on that, man? Are you surprised that so many Jets fans are against bringing Lamar Jackson to New York?
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm all right. Salute.
Been a while, and I just want to say, Joe Meningo, and notably my other boy, that's an older fan like I am. They're probably a little older than me. I'm in the game 42-year Jet fan, 12 years old, 1980, and I'm 55 now. It's kind of a contradiction. They're overthinking it. Lamar Jackson would make the Jets so unpredictable and scary that none of those teams, the top 3 teams, want to face up. Kansas City wouldn't, Buffalo wouldn't, and Cincinnati wouldn't. You can make the argument. These are the 3 best teams in the conference. Neither one of them would want any part of the New York Jets. The Jets would have their own 3-headed monster. With Lamar, a healthy Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson, you would have 3 weapons that legitimately, every time they touch the ball, can take it to the house.
Yep.
Who can say that? Can Cincinnati say that? No. Buffalo, Josh Allen is a threat, and Stephon Diggs, but besides them, they don't have a third man. I mean, we would be on a level that would be so scary. And check this out. Lamar is only 26 years old. He's in the prime of his career. We would get him at the right time. He's not a kid coming out of high school, kind of developmental like he was. They did an excellent job of bringing him along. Now, if we could step in and continue his progression, we could develop him where he's, a little bit more of a ball distributor. Because we got Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, good tight end room. We have 3 good running backs. With us, he could just focus more on ball distribution. Now, don't get me wrong. He can still pull the shirt open, Superman, and if we get desperate, he can make that run and get us the first down, keep the sticks moving, and then we can go right back to the ground game. Bam Knight, Breece Hall, going to our running backs on the ground, time of possession, ball control, ball distribution. That's all he has to do with us.
Yeah.
That's all he has to do. He doesn't have to play the same way. People think he's going to come to us and play the same way. No, he won't. He won't have to. All he's got to do is distribute the ball, turn it over, go out there and not do what we try to get Zach to do. Just go out there and distribute the ball, show some leadership, stop being timid and scared, and just go out there and play the game.
Yeah. And
Lamar Jackson is not going to do any of that.
Yeah, and
he's not going to play scared.
Yeah, and
he's going to play aggressive.
Absolutely, and you could also argue, right, that great quarterback play does hide a lot of deficiencies on an offense. We saw that with multiple teams, right?
That's right.
You look at the Ravens without Lamar Jackson.
Right.
All of those deficiencies are glaring.
Oh yeah.
You look at the Patriots without Tom Brady when he left. All of the deficiencies were glaring.
That's right.
You look at Kansas City without Patrick
That's
Mahomes.
Right.
All of the deficiencies are glaring, right? You start to see those things, right? You start to see, maybe
That's
that
right.
offensive line isn't as good as we thought it was. Yeah, because there's nobody to run, all right? Nobody to run away from that linebacker.
That's right.
There's no guy with the feet and knees and ankles and legs like Lamar Jackson that can take off and make a play. So we're seeing those things. So I understand that the New York Jets have some concerns at other positions, yes, and I've talked about it as well. The offensive line, we'll be talking about that as the season continues on into the offseason, all that stuff. This is your round show. That's what we do. But here's the deal, is that if we're getting ATV and Becton and all these guys back and we're going to have an offensive line that's at full strength, well, when you add Lamar Jackson to that, like you said as well, we become wildly unpredictable offensively. And the weapons become even more deadly because think about this. Look at the year that Garrett Wilson had with up and down quarterback play. Can you imagine him with Lamar Jackson? How do you cover Garrett Wilson with Lamar Jackson?
See, you understand. You know.
I mean,
you know.
How do you do
you're
it?
able to put it together in your mind.
Yeah.
For fans out there who doubt Lamar Jackson, go to YouTube.
Oh
you listen to the sound of my voice, Jets fans, go to YouTube, look up Lamar Jackson MVP.
Oh, man.
And you look at his play, you will be saying, wow.
Hey,
it's going to blow your mind.
Listen, RPO, Breece Hall, Lamar Jackson, oh, boy. You better figure it out. You better figure it out because if you don't,
and what it is,
you're going to
people
get
think
cooked.
he's Tim Tebow.
Oh, man.
Lamar Jackson is not Tim Tebow.
No,
he's not Scribbler. He's not going to struggle throwing the ball now.
No, he's not.
Lamar Jackson can actually throw the ball.
Yeah. You know what kills me?
He can actually throw the football. People think,
He's won an MVP before. You can't do that at quarterback. You can't throw the ball.
That's right.
You can't.
That's
do
right.
That.
That's right.
I don't get it. So
he's a very efficient. He's a very efficient passer.
Yeah. So
very efficient, very effective. He doesn't turn the ball over.
My next question becomes.
And with us,
we're fired, and I hear you. You're fired up about Lamar. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I like Lamar as well. What is the most, if you're the Jets general manager, what is the most you'd be willing to give up for him as far as to the Ravens to trade him? Would you be willing to give up 3 first-round picks?
Easily, because we have a general manager that can actually draft. This is not Mike McCagnon. You know what I'm saying? I would be more concerned giving up those picks that we had Mike McCagnon. Because Mike McCagnon's focus and emphasis and his strength was the first round. Beyond that, the rest of his picks when he'd be on the team in 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
Not the case with Joe Douglas.
Yep.
We could give up the first round pick this year. Guess what? We might miss out on Paris Johnson, Skoronsky, but I got my mind on another guy. I'm going to throw this out there for months, even before the season ended. His name is Darwin Jones. He's a behemoth, a monster, like Becton, 357 pounds, 6'7". He came down from 400 pounds, just like Makai, somebody Makai could relate to.
Yeah.
That's the player I envision us taking in the second round. It would be awesome. You had Becton healthy, Jared Tucker, and second round you add Darwin Jones, and then you have Breece Hall healthy in your backfield. You got all your competent weapons. I think we'd be in excellent position to make the playoffs. And once we get in, based on the Jets' history, this would be probably the scariest Jet team ever.
Yeah. And
scarier than the teams in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're okay with giving him $50 million per guaranteed? That's probably what he's going to want.
I'm going to tell you something here. Now, I'm about to throw something out there to you that I've been thinking about the last couple of days. You probably won't like this.
Okay.
I don't like it either. Quentin Williams. I love Quentin Williams. I like everything about this guy. Now, initially, when he came out of college, I wanted to take Josh Allen, because of the position, the pass rush. I was wrong. Quentin Williams is right now a better player than Josh Allen. Right now he is. But because the way this team is set up, if we were to accommodate Baltimore with this trade, which I'm every bit all in to do this, we would have to restructure this team.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't sign. I don't see how it works mathematically. If it had been 3, 4, 5 years ago when we had all that salary cap, we could have made it work. But now we have far less salary cap structure to work with. I don't see how it works mathematically. I think we have to restructure this team. Quentin Williams, we have to be put on the trade block. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
if you get Lamar, you have to restructure.
Yeah, I know that there's been a lot of talk about Quentin Williams possibly being a guy from multiple fans. I don't think you necessarily have to trade him. There's a lot of finagling that you can do with the cap. We see the Chiefs do it year in and year out, where they push a lot of guaranteed money further and further down the road in the contract, right? Which is something you can do with Lamar Jackson. Yeah. There's also guys as well that need to be restructured on the team. You talk about Quentin Williams, but C.J. Mosley, $17 million, that's definitely going to need to be restructured. His deal going forward. There's other guys as well that we could look at getting rid of. Corey Davis is definitely going to be on the list of guys that probably are going to be looked to get gone soon. So there's ways that we can do it, right? Joe Douglas and his team definitely has ways.
That's right.
Man, I tell you what, you get Lamar in the building, things will change. Now, before I let you go, I want to get your thoughts on this quickly. Offensive coordinator search. Do you like what you see so far? Is there an offensive coordinator you want out there that they haven't brought in? Give me your thoughts quickly.
I think they're casting too wide a net. I think they need to raise their standards and don't let just anybody apply for this job unless they have the qualifications and demonstrated their body of work they're qualified to do. Stop letting anybody come coach the Jets. Stop letting anybody wear their equipment and put their helmet on. There's supposed to be a different standard set for the New York Jets. Yeah. They're supposed to be powerful and scary. That everybody fears them. All the teams fear them. Let's cut it out just with this wide net and bringing in these OCs that are inexperienced. You might as well have kept LaFleur.
Yeah.
If you're going to interview a guy that's just as inexperienced as LaFleur, I mean, what's the point? Yeah. Why let LaFleur go just to bring in another upstart and up and coming OC? To me, Frank Wright is the number one choice. I'd be willing to go on and make him an assistant head coach, give him what he wants to make that job far more attractive for him, and hopefully I can draw him in. Yeah. I know he's the top guy on my list. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in. I got other callers. I got to slide off. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend?
Oh, yeah.
All right. You have yourself a good one.
Sure, buddy.
Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. There's a lot of people that are not liking Lamar, man. I don't know what's going on. Next, I'm going to my guy, Val. Val, I'm coming directly to you. David, we'll get to you next. Other callers as well. Hold on. We're getting to everybody. Val salutes. Listen, for those of you that don't know, this man, Val, he's a savage, my man. Savage! Damn, Val's a savage. Salutes to you, Val. I want to thank you for calling in, man. There's a lot of people don't want Lamar Jackson. I don't know what's going on. I've been talking about Derek. I've been talking about Derek Carr.
Go ahead.
I'd be all right with Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want him. Give me your thoughts, man. How are you feeling about the Jets?
I heard Tom Brady. I heard Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Give me your thoughts, man.
Joe, I'm not asleep, so I'm wide awake.
Are you awake? Are you? Hold on. Before we get to you awake. I'm awake. Everybody else is awake. You know who is asleep at the wheel? Steve, man. Come on, Steve. Yeah, asleep at the wheel.
Day listening to all these Jets talk, man. Oh man, I feel it, man. But man, I cannot believe this Lamar Jackson talk, man. Like we haven't seen Lamar Jackson throw 2 bombs against the Jets in the first game against the Jets. I mean, the first game against the Jets. He threw 2 bombs. This man he has a whole bunch of weapons. I mean, he had no weapons with the Baltimore Ravens at all. No. They didn't surround him with talent. He's basically their elite quarterback that's getting it done. He's got them 10 wins, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, I don't understand what they don't see. Yeah. So it's just like, man, like if Lamar Jackson came here, I'm telling you right now, he's gonna take this team to a whole new level. He's gonna elevate the young talent to want to play even harder, because you see how the Ravens played around him, and he barely even had any talent, and they were still getting it done, even when they was struggling, because he doesn't have that. They didn't even give him a number 1 wide receiver. They didn't even give him a number 2 wide receiver. The quarterbacks that we're talking about that we want, they have wide receivers. They didn't get the job done, so that's why they're on the move right now. But this man Lamar Jackson had literally no help on offense. So he's the person that they have to, and everybody's worried about him getting injured. Yes, he's been getting injured because he has to do it's basically all on his shoulders. If he doesn't get stuff done, they don't get no win. So if he comes to the Jets,
go ahead. You speaking facts.
If you watch the game, if Lamar Jackson came here, he doesn't even have to run that much. He could be a pocket passer, as he's been doing. He could throw bombs. Listen, they don't even have to play. They're not going to play heavy coverage on the wide receivers. So what that means? That means Garrett Wilson, he's not going to get double teamed, and you're going to see Elijah Moore get more plays as well too. And that's what I got to say, man. I really don't understand it. And for me, I'm giving up 2 first-round picks. I'm giving up a 6th-round pick. And, hey, if you want Zach Wilson, you can have him too. So, that's just me.
Val said,
no problem with that. $50 million? Yes, $50 million a year. We definitely doing it. Listen, man. Listen, Joe. People are having this cheap mentality. Listen. When the Knicks went to go and get their point guard that we needed, they was like, "Oh, it's too much money. No, too much money." Soon as he came to the Knicks, you don't hear nothing about money no more. You don't hear nothing. Everybody's clapping. They're going to the games. We're winning games. Everybody forgot about those talks. Trust me. Get him here is gonna be a huge difference.
Yo, Val is heartless. Val is heartless. He said, "Yeah, if you want him, you can have him too. All right, listen, you could Zach Wilson. I'll give you a cheese sandwich and 2 bags of hot Cheetos. Go ahead, get him out of here. Here's a half drinking Gatorade. You can take that too. Hey, yeah, y'all can all go. I'll take all of that. Now you said 2 first-round picks. What if they push it to 3?
Because the thing is, listen,
are you willing to give up 3 first-round picks? Are you willing to give up 3 first-round picks?
I would give up 3 first-round picks.
Okay,
absolutely. When was the last time we had a franchise quarterback in the New York Jets? Since 2000. That's 23 years ago. We got to make something happen. It's like, okay, we're going to get Tom Brady. That's a 1-year situation. Then Tom Brady says, all right, you know what? I'm just going to retire. Then what? We're going to be right back in the same situation. Oh, yeah, we could have had Lamar Jackson that last year. Now we're stuck and we're going to have another quarterback situation. We go with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I understand Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I know people are going to get on me about this because I remember you got on me about this. I said Aaron Rodgers is a regular season quarterback. Like, I definitely said that.
Here we go.
Every time he's been bounced out to the first round or he hasn't got to the playoffs. And this is the problem. Everybody's saying that he's going to be cool with the New York media. No, the New York media is going to get on him. I'm telling you. He's not. He's been scapegoating a lot of times. He even said when he went against the Baltimore, when he went against the Bills, that, listen, we might just get exposed. How are you going to say that before a game? I'm like, man, if he was in New York, do you know how much they would have killed him for that?
Yeah.
Did you see what happened with Zach Wilson? They sat him down for saying something wrong.
Yeah.
So, then on top of that, Aaron Rodgers have a history of blaming other people but himself. So it's just like, don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers is a very good quarterback, but if we don't get Lamar Jackson, then I want Derek Carr.
Okay.
Or then Aaron Rodgers as the third person for sure.
Okay. So with that, with that, and this is going to be my final question for you, Val. You've been bringing some heat. Offensive coordinator, who do you look to have them bring in, man? Do you like the guys that we've looked at so far? Kevin Patullo, Marcus Brady has been brought in. Is there an offensive coordinator out there that you'd like to see the Jets grab if they could, if they're available? Quickly, give me your thoughts.
All right. So I don't really know too much about the offensive coordinators on top of the dome, but I do like the guy that you said that was that's retired. I forgot his name.
Gary Kubiak.
Gary Kubiak,
yeah, the guy that runs the Shanahan system.
I would rather us just get a quarterback first
then get our offensive coordinator because I want that to fit. I don't want to just bring somebody in first and then, the scheme doesn't fit the quarterback. That's what happened to the Denver Broncos. That's where it messed up at. So that's why I kind of want to,
That's a lot of power to give a quarterback. I hear what you're saying, and I've gone back and forth with a lot of people that have made that point, but that's a lot of power to give a quarterback. Go ahead.
That's true. That is true. I mean, but if you're signing a quarterback to this stature, you want to make sure you give him the best quality as possible for his type of style of play. Yeah. And can I get on LaFleur real quick?
Real quick, go ahead. Real quick.
Or I don't have that much time.
Real quick, go ahead.
Quick. All right. So LaFleur had to go. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, listen, I would have gave him one more year, but that guy, man, like, listen, you didn't utilize your tight ends. You didn't utilize Elijah Moore at all. He only had like 6 catches for a couple of weeks and stuff, and then he didn't get a catch at all, and it was been weeks, and then he didn't utilize the tight ends at all. You know what I'm saying? Joe Douglas surrounded Zach Wilson with a whole bunch of weapons, and then he didn't utilize those weapons at all. Then on top of that, Denzel Mims is another player that he played good in his rookie season. As soon as LaFleur came here, and then it was just like he had no production at all. So yeah, I think it was his time.
Yeah,
and hopefully the best for him. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, listen, Val, I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good one. I got to slide off, my friend.
Yes, sir. Keep doing your thing. Everybody hit the like, subscribe that button.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. You have a good one. We're going to keep getting to these lines, man. Val brought up a point. I've gone back and forth. A lot of people saying we should bring in a quarterback and allow him to name the offensive coordinator. But my rebuttal to that is, what about everybody else? What if Lamar Jackson, let's say we go after and we get Lamar Jackson. What if he wants to bring in a scheme that doesn't fit a lot of the guys that we have currently? What do you do then? But then you also got to look at the flip side. What if you bring in a coordinator that these other guys that you're targeting don't want to work with? So those are going to be big questions. Listen, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking callers. Next, we're going to go to my guy, David. Nico, other callers as well. Hold on. We'll get to you. Believe me. David, I'm coming directly to you. Salutes to you, David. I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, we're talking quarterbacks, man. We've been talking offensive coordinators as well. Give me your thoughts on this coordinator search. Is there a guy that you're interested in that the Jets, you feel like the Jets should take a look at that they haven't already?
Well, Joe, good to talk to you again. I'm going to stick with the current theme because your last few callers are right on the money. Mm-hmm. What I would do is I would go with Lamar. And first of all, what Woody and even the GM, but definitely Woody, they need to look in the mirror and say, okay, we need to admit that we are the same old Jets. And what are we willing to do about it?
Okay.
What are we willing to do about it? Now, that brings me to the quarterback. You've nailed it. That's who we need. And then Woody, the GM, even Saleh will bring him in, and we'll say, okay, what do we got to do to get this man? And then they look at the options, and then they do what they do behind the scenes to start communications. If they get Lamar Jackson, then this is how you do the coordinator, Joe. You say, okay, you sit Lamar down, and then you break out a big photo album of a bunch of pictures and resumes of potential offensive coordinators.
Okay.
And you have their little rap sheet on there, like he's at a police station. Okay. And you just do a photo op. You say, Lamar, tell us when you see a good one. Tell us when you see what this offensive coordinator resume and style is. And when you see it, just point your finger, and I will wave a magic wand, and he's yours if he'll come.
Okay.
I think you got to build it all around the quarterback if you get Lamar. Then going back to draft choices, it's like your last caller. Who cares? Because whatever it takes to get the guy, because now you got an identity. We haven't had an identity, and we got to get past the fear of injury, even though that's a reasonable concern, because we ran out of options as a team, as an organization. So we got to do like what the Mets did. You get rid of the Wilpon mindset of the cheapskate, and Woody's not a cheapskate, but you get rid of that whole concept, and then you get this guy. Woody's got to get like the New York Met guy, and just go bananas and say, okay, I don't care about money. I want to redeem this organization, get rid of the same old Jet crap, get a legitimate quarterback and then build around it. I don't even care about the defense. Keep your cornerbacks. They're awesome. Who cares about the linebackers? See you later, Mr. Mosley. Thank you. Good job. Great man. But it's time to cut ways. Keep Quentin whatever you can.
Okay.
Keep that man. He's awesome. If you can.
Here's
and
my
then
question,
after
though.
that, who cares about the D? Who cares about the D? Because you know why, Joe?
Yeah.
Let me just say this quick about
Go
the
ahead.
D. We didn't get any turnovers, Joe.
Yeah.
As good as they were, we got to get turnovers.
And I hear that, but at the same time, that defense
Gotta
kept
get
that defense kept us in games all year long.
Yep.
Had it not been for that defense, we would have got blown out game after game after game. So I understand when people say we didn't get as many turnovers as they hoped this season, but when that defense was holding teams to just field goals or often getting us 3 and outs, that was getting the offense back, right? We can think of so many games this year that were in reach and we couldn't get it done because of the offense.
Yeah.
Those 2 Patriots games, all of those games down the stretch, even the Jaguars games was still in reach at certain points in the game, but our offense couldn't produce. The Lions game, see all that stuff, right? But going back to this quarterback situation, it's an interesting point that you bring up. Others have said the same thing. Get the quarterback, bring the coordinator in after you get the quarterback. Allow him to select the coordinator, which, okay, if that's the mindset, right? But the question's then
you don't want any more conflict, Joe. You got to get an identity.
But the question remains.
You can't bring in some guy that's
and I hear that. I hear that, David. But the question then comes: okay, what if Lamar decides to select a coordinator that doesn't fit the guys that we currently have? Because Lamar bringing him in is amazing. But what about Elijah Moore? What about Garrett Wilson? What about all these other weapons that we have that may not fit a certain offensive coordinator scheme? What do you do then? When he wants an offensive coordinator that can't scheme for Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson, what do you do?
Well, I got the answer. Woody Johnson walks down, and maybe you bring the GM with you if you feel like it, and you say, Mr. Jackson, what's the problem here? Well, you know, sir, Mr. Johnson, well, let's deal with this right away. And then you just get in the grill of that offensive coordinator and say, listen, if you don't do it Mr. Jackson's way, you can hit the road. You got to get past these coaches. You got to get past Salah. He's clueless. I like him. He's a good man. I want Salah as my coach, but he's not the cure. He can come along on the ride with the rest of the fans.
Mm-hmm.
What they need is a quarterback that's going to put the whole world on his shoulders and say, I got you.
Okay.
Then you build around that. That's why I'm willing to sacrifice my D, Joe, because if you get the quarterback, you got the receivers, you got the running back coming back, you got a potential O-line developing strong again, you're a juggernaut potentially.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking like the Buffalo Bills all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then you got your good cornerbacks on the D, you got you got a solid D. I think if they do what I just said, and I know it's fantasy, easy to talk it, but if they were to pull that off, get Lamar Jackson, I don't care what it takes, 1, 2, 3, how many you want, 3 first rounders?
Okay.
And then you open up the photo book. You say, pick your coordinator. What schemes do you like? This guy likes to do this. Are you comfortable with that style? Yeah, I like him. Put your finger on that picture. You make the phone call. You got to get fluidity. You got to get harmony. We got to get an ID, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
We're too confused and unstable as an organization.
Yeah. Listen, and I hear you, David, and you make some great points. I'm just a little concerned, but at the same time, you could look at the situation. You brought up a great point. I would look at an offensive coordinator and I would say, listen, if Lamar Jackson wants you in here, you have, again, that would have to be signed off by Joe Douglas and those guys. They must think, hey, he's got some type of offensive mind. This guy should be able to scheme open the weapons that we currently have. So a guy like Elijah Moore should be utilized better. Again, Garrett Wilson, all these things should be a step up. But I hear you, and there's a lot of people going back and forth with that. But listen, David, I got to slide off. I want to thank you for calling in. It's been phenomenal to speak with you. You have yourself a good one, man.
All right.
All right. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, we're going to my guy, Nico. Nico, we're coming directly to you. 917, other callers as well. Hold on. We'll get to you. Get to the end of the show quickly. Nico, give me your thoughts, man. A lot of people don't want Lamar Jackson. Do you agree with that? Do you want Derek Carr? Who's the Jets quarterback? Who's the quarterback that you want to see the Jets end up with?
Salute, my brother. Salute.
Salutes, man.
So, let me, people don't want Lamar because he's getting injured too much. Mm-hmm. But then people also want the quarterback for the 49ers. But doesn't he get
Garoppolo,
Isn't he accident prone too?
Yeah, Garoppolo
so, I mean,
does get hurt a
yeah,
lot.
so I'm not understanding. You don't want Lamar, but you want Garoppolo. I'm not getting that.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want Carr, but Carr's been throwing for over 4,000 yards a season. I mean, you think about it. If you put him here, throwing 4,000 yards a season, how many games do we even go up? We ain't at 7-10. You know, we at like 11-3. Come on, really?
Nico, I can't
Are
even.
you people like not seeing that?
Nico, I can't even think of. I don't think we've ever had a 4,000-yard passer here. I can't even remember if we had. I don't think we've ever had that. Unbelievable. And let me tell you something. I've been a big Derek Carr advocate. I've talked about it. I'm gonna give you your time, but I've talked about it constantly about, hey, bringing that guy in here would really, and I've gotten pushback left and right. Oh, I don't like him, Joe. Oh, he doesn't play good in cold weather. It gets pretty cold in Oakland, right? Oh, he doesn't do this. He's not this. He's not that.
Oh,
Dude, he's a top. He's just a scrub. He's average. He's a top 15 quarterback. That is, it was in a franchise that's full of confusion, full of dysfunction, right? Drafts, they've blown out drafts. He's still been able to produce. Lack of offensive weapons. Yes, they got him Adams, but this is the first year with Adams. Waller only played 8 games. That defense has been so bad with the Raiders for years. I think they've been ranked as pretty much as high as 25th since the time he's got there. There have been so many issues with that team, and he's still produced. And it's like, yeah, we don't want Derek Carr either. So it's like, well, damn. Who do you want? You don't want Lamar Jackson. You don't want Derek Carr. I mean, people turn their nose up at Aaron Rodgers too. They don't want to pay him. It's like, well, where do we go? Give me your thoughts, Nico.
They want the quarterback that's gonna go out there on crutches and call plays and try to run around with the crutches. That's what they want. I mean, okay, Lamar Jackson got hurt. His first time he got hurt in the pocket, so it wasn't running, he wasn't moving. Yeah. And then the second time he got hurt, he was avoiding attack. I mean, come on, man, come on. Hey, look, I'm all in for Lamar. If we don't get Lamar, I'm all in for Carr. But it's got to be one of those two. Yeah. It's got to be. Mm-hmm. Some people are just. I hear the people. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you delusional?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, Derek Carr's not that great. He can't play in the cold. People adjust. People adjust. He's been playing for years. People adjust. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. People, what are you talking about?
Listen, this is Nico.
Oh, God, give me some of that stuff you sniffing. Give me some of that stuff you sniffing, because I want some, too. If you talking like that, let me talk like that for a minute.
Listen,
give me some.
Listen, I respect everybody's take. This is Nico. He's going off, and he has the right to feel how he feels. Now, Nico, we've been talking and having discussions about Lamar Jackson. You talked about you liked him as well. Now, when you look at the situation, right, with Lamar, what is the most that you're willing to give up for him? I've talked about it. 3 first-round picks, probably a low, maybe a third, something like that, $50 million per for 5 years. Are you willing to give that up?
I'm like your 2 callers ago. He said give him a first, 3 firsts, a 6, Zach Wilson, and I'll even throw a trailer load of potato chips to go with it. Take him. Take him. I'll pay for his plane ticket to go out there. Take him. Take him. He needs a hotel room. I'll pay for that too.
Yeah.
Take him.
Listen, Nico. It's been fun.
And I agree. I agree with the other callers.
Yeah.
With bringing in the offensive coordinator. I like Kubiak and I like Bevel.
Yeah.
I mean those two right there. You're saying we need somebody with experience.
Uh-huh.
I think that's exactly what we need. Like the other guy said, just needed identity. Mm-hmm. If you bring in the right coordinator, the one that knows what he's doing, knows how to adjust, knows how to call the plays correctly, like the other caller said, they didn't use the tight ends. I thought we had. I swear when we got the 2 tight ends, I thought we were like the Patriots when they had Hernandez and what's the other guy's name? Hernandez. When they had Hernandez and the other guy. And Gronk.
Yeah.
And I thought we got 2 good receivers. We got 2 good tight ends. And then we got a good running back. Oh, man, we're going to run the table. But once again, where are we hurting at?
Yeah.
That quarterback position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quarterback. Bring in the coordinator, sit them all in the room, and say, here's the game plan. Can we all get along to do this? Now you were saying well, what if the receivers don't get along? Hey, man, wait a minute. When receivers first come into the league, they get a playbook. That's it. Learn it.
Yeah.
Learn it.
Yeah. You talking facts.
Learn it. And there's nothing else to say. Learn it. Here's a playbook. Learn it.
Yeah. Listen, Nico.
We'll fit your skill set in, but learn it.
Yeah. You talking absolute facts. Listen, Nico, I got to slide off. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good one.
All right, my
friend.
brother.
It's always phenomenal speaking with you. We're going to keep getting to these callers. We're getting a little short on time, so I want to hear everyone's takes quickly. Next, we're going to my guy, BK. BK, we're coming directly to you. Andrew, we'll come to you in a second. Other callers. Salutes to you, BK. For those of you that don't know, BK, that boy's a savage, man. Savage. BK, salutes, man. Give me your thoughts. People don't want Lamar Jackson, man. How are you feeling about it?
Listen, I'm going to echo what all the callers that was before me, the last guy and the guy before that. Yeah, I definitely want Lamar Jackson. You know, I mean, this is an easy decision. I mean, he's top on the list, man. I mean, for obvious reasons. You know, I went to that first game when they played the Jets, when he played. I mean, I was amazed at his ability. I mean, I've been watching for years, but to see him live, man, this guy's is special, man. He is.
No, he is, man. So when you look at this coordinator situation, right, is there a guy that you're looking at that the Jets haven't brought in, or are you know, good with some of the guys that they have? Who's the guy you want to see the Jets select?
Well, you know, I've been looking at a few things. Of course, we know about Gary Kubiak. And I like Gary Kubiak because he has a history, you know what I'm saying? And he understands the game, and he's a seasoned veteran, will command respect from all the players right away. And he knows how to use that blocking scheme, where zone blocking scheme will be good to run the football for Breece Hall.
Yeah.
So I would say he's the guy. Now again, this all gonna come back to the quarterback play. We know this. But I would say if they can get him in there, there's other guys that are there, but man, it's really come back to the quarterback. But he's like high on the list if they could get him. If he wants to coach.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's been out of football for a little bit, but he's a guy I'm interested in as well. But we'll see what happens going forward. But listen, BK, I got to slide off. I got other callers. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good one, my friend.
You too as well, man. Peace.
All right. We're going to keep getting to these lines. 515-602. Time's coming short. 9639 is the number. Time's coming short. We're going to speed through the rest of these calls. We got some late calls coming in. Andrew, salutes to my guy, Andrew. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Coming directly to you. Andrew, a lot of people do not want Lamar Jackson. Are you on that boat?
Nah, Joe. Compared to what we have, that I would take Lamar all day. I would send Zach Wilson for a pencil clip. he can go. I'll pay for his ticket. I'll pay for his hotel. I'll pay for his food.
Damn.
He can just go. I'll take anyone. I'll take a retired Mike Vick over Zach. Zach has to go.
Andrew showed up to the Ravens like, yo.
What more do you want from me?
You can take it all. What else do you want?
I'll take anyone over. I'll keep Joe Flacco in there over Zach.
Wow. Okay. I hear what you're saying. Now, my final question for you. We talked about Lamar Jackson. If the Jets do miss out on Lamar, do you think Derek Carr is a guy that could be a great second option in your opinion? He's my first option because I don't know if the Jets are going to end up with Lamar, but I like Derek Carr a lot. What are your thoughts about him quickly?
I think we shouldn't. I don't think we should get him. I think if we don't get Lamar, I think we should start looking into Mike White. I've seen Mike White, what he showed from his team about how good he can perform, not injured. I feel like we should. If we can't get Lamar, we should buckle down with Mike White and invest into him. He looked promising. He is a secondary quarterback, but he looked promising. He outperformed Zach Wilson for the 2 years over 3 games. I feel like if we can't get Lamar, we should stick with Mike White and build around him on what capital we have left about the draft pick, save him, and build around him because he showed us that he can play a game and can win us games.
Okay. Listen, Andrew, I got to slide off. I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, my friend. Next, we're going to my guy, Chris. Chris, we're coming directly to you. Quickly, I want you to give me some takes, man. Listen, Chris, a lot of people don't want Lamar Jackson. We've been going back and forth. Give me your thoughts about that situation. Would you take Lamar? Are you willing to give up 3 first-round picks and $50 million per to make Lamar Jackson a Jet?
That's an interesting question. Lamar Jackson with no offensive line, no really running back. If you get Brees Hall stays healthy for a whole season, it depends on what you put around him. I would like him, no question, but it depends on what you can put around. What you can put around Lamar Jackson. If you can't put anything, then you can't get him. You have to have a team around him.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta have some.
I mean, we've got stuff that can put around him, right? We're getting Becton back healthy. We're getting ATV back healthy. Yeah. You can. There's other picks that we have as well. Mid rounds where you can bring guys in, and we can help him out. But again, with Lamar Jackson, I talked about this earlier. Great quarterback play often hides deficiencies, right? So his ability to move can help us. Getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Go ahead. I'll give you the final word.
But real quick. But you look at Daniel Jones. I'm not saying Zach Wilson would be a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But if you look at Daniel Jones 3 years ago, you say this guy is horrible. Mm-hmm. And he turned it around. Mm-hmm. So can Zach turn it around?
He might be able to.
And that's what I'm looking at.
But here's the
fourth offensive coordinator to turn around.
He
was horrible to all those offensive coordinators, and he got the right guy.
Yeah, but here's the biggest issue, or here's the thing with Zach Wilson. And I understand Daniel Jones has some up and down years, but they were able to, get the weapons and pieces back. There is no excuse for Zach to be bad in this system. None. Daniel Jones at his worst did not look as bad as Zach Wilson at his worst, right? This guy's missing screen passes. He's throwing the ball over guys' heads that are wide open. There's no excuse for him to be bad here. The entire offense was upgraded from the line to the weapons to everything. Sam Darnold, who we ran out of here, right? And whatever is whatever with him, he never had the chance that Zach Wilson has. Never had the coordinators, never had the coaching, never had the nothing.
Absolutely. You're right.
So it's like, look, maybe Zach can turn it around. I'm not closing the door on him, Chris, but it is what it is there. But listen, I got to slide off, Chris. I want to thank you for calling in. We're short on time. We're going to keep getting to these lines. My final caller is going to be Steve. Steve, I guess, is awake now. Steve, salutes to you quickly. You're back. Get your hands on the wheel. Salutes to you, Steve. Quickly, man.
Hey, Joe.
You were snoring the last time we tried to get to you.
Joe, first off, I wasn't asleep. Thank you very much.
You weren't?
Number one.
We all heard you snoring. Steve, we all heard you. This show is recorded. You know that, right? It's recorded.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Savages. Did y'all hear him snoring? You were on the line for a long time, Steve. Gone. You need a CPAP. You know what I'm saying? That's first. And get you a good water bed. See, a good water bed, man, will put you away. You know what I'm saying? I bet you your pillow's nice, soft, and comfy. You've probably been working hard. I don't knock you. But, the people heard it. I heard it as well.
Probably.
But give me your thoughts really quickly. Lamar Jackson.
Anyway, Joe, thank you again for having me on your show tonight.
Give me your thoughts about Lamar Jackson, man. Really quickly.
No, here is the thing. I know you have to make this close because it is the end of your show. Mm-hmm. Listen, I do think the Jets should go out and get a veteran quarterback like Lamar Jackson. I mean, listen, Woody Johnson said at his end of the year press conference that he is all in and out to getting Lamar Jackson. Not getting Lamar Jackson, but all in and out getting a quarterback and maybe competing, with Zach. Because the thing is going back to the offensive coordinator. Listen, the thing that I would like to see the Jets do is hire someone that isn't an experienced offensive coordinator. Like, we need to get someone that is experienced, like someone who's never been least experienced with the job before. We need to get an experienced offensive coordinator, whoever it is. And one guy that I know I do like what was his name? Todd Monken. I like him. Mm-hmm. And another one that I like too was the guy who was Detroit's offensive coordinator, but obviously there was just a report that just came out that he is staying put in Detroit.
Yeah.
But hopefully, Robert Saleh will get the right one.
Yeah, I hope he will as well. Listen, Steve, I gotta let you go because we're short on time. Steve gonna come in here and say he wasn't sleeping. Come on, bro. We literally heard you snoring. He came in here with some good takes, though. I will give him that. He had some solid takes once he was up. You know what I'm saying? And awake. You know what I mean? But come on. We heard you snoring. The Savages heard you. Now, I got to close up the show. I'm getting very short on time. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I'm also on Twitter as well. Okay? At YoungJ000. Again, at YoungJ000. At The Long Beach Joe as well. Okay, go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll
90
me? No
seconds.
issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge at all times with my Vera Tucker jersey on. All right? At all times. He'll be back, dominating, fight on. So come on by, again, at The Long Beach Joe. You can also catch me live shows, okay, on YouTube. Come on over to YouTube. All right? Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right, that brings up the show. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Or if you want to troll me, get in those comments. We can go back and forth as well. And as always, people, when you see me in person, because you will, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. It costs you absolutely nothing. I want to thank you folks for taking the time every day to listen, call in, and just interact with your boy in the chat as well. Some of y'all even sleep. You know what I mean? Wake up. So you folks have a good one. It's always great talking to everyone. See you folks on the next show. Peace. 1 second, folks. I should be back. Salutes, everybody. Listen, this was a phenomenal show. As y'all see, the show gets hot, and we get to everybody, you know. All right, listen. For those of you that are new, because I do have new faces, salutes and peace to everybody. Exclamation point. Links in the chat. Did y'all hear Steve say he wasn't sleeping? Did y'all hear that? Bruh, you was on the line for 3 minutes, snoring. I'll be making that stuff up. You can listen. The show's recorded. All right, we can go back. Exclamation point links in the chat brings up my link tree. My link tree has the links to all of my social media platforms. All right. It also has the links to all of my content. Excuse me. All of my other YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to my other YouTube pages. Subscribe to this one as well. So when I post content, you folks will be in the know and hit that notification bell. Content for those other YouTube pages is coming. Trust me. Also, my social media platforms are in there too. Please follow me on my social media. All right, my Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. So when I post that I'm going to do a show, you'll be in the know. All right. Now, keep in mind, as y'all know, my veteran guys, my shows be, on different days. Again, my schedule's wild. Okay. So that's why it happens like that. Usually a Tuesday, I try it on a Friday, some stuff like that. So, again, if you follow me across my social media, you subscribe, believe me, when I go live, you'll be in the know. I post hours before I'm going live that I'm going live, okay? And I usually go live around 7 p.m. Eastern. So here's a veteran tip for a lot of people that like to call in. This number right here does not change, all right? Val's going to tell me to be quiet, but I'm not going to do it, all right? I'm going to share a secret with y'all that a lot of people do. Okay, a lot. Y'all heard a lot of the callers we had tonight. All right, see Val laughing because Val all about his shine. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Val want to shine. Okay, he want his time, and I respect that. I've been going back and forth with Val in these YouTube, or just the show period, and content, all that stuff. Great takes, all that. Right? Been going back and forth with him for years. So here's the deal: if you call into the show, this number right here, about 5 to 10 minutes before the show, and you wait on the lines, you'll get on the show earlier. All right. The lines to the show open up about 10 to 15 minutes before the show actually starts. So all you got to do is just call, wait on the lines, and then you'll get on the show a bit earlier. Okay. As y'all saw tonight, we have quite a bit of callers. Patient, we will get to everyone. Now, keep in mind when you call in, I cannot give everyone 30 minutes. I can't do that. But I will give you more than enough time, probably 8 to 10 minutes, to give me your takes, right? And let's go back and forth. That's what I'm about. Now, keep in mind when you call in, there's no cursing on this show, all right? There's no cursing on my show. Don't call in here doing that because I'll get you out of here fast, okay? This is a family show. Please respect my platform. And I know that y'all are listen, I don't even have to say this because you folks are so intelligent that I know that you can speak without cursing. I have so many great conversations with all of you people. You know, everybody that all of the callers, all of the supporters, everybody that watches my content and interacts with me any kind of way. I know that you don't have to curse. So please do not call in here doing that. This is a family show, okay? So with that, call in. If you want to call in early, you know what I'm saying? The number's right there. 5 to 10 minutes before the show starts, boom. You see how Val start hating on y'all? Val be hating on y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I got a lot of love and respect for Val, but Val got a lot of hate for y'all. I ain't gonna lie. You hear what he say? Look at him. For this part, let that go in one ear and out the other. That's what he's telling y'all. Don't pay attention to this. It's good. That's Val. Don't pay attention to that, bro. You good? Like, don't, yeah. Because Val want to call in and get the shine. That's what he want. He want to call in and get his turn. And I respect it. But if you call this number 5 to 10 minutes before the show, you will hear me come on. The show will start. You'll hear me give my spiel. I usually talk about 10 minutes about what we're going to discuss. I get my take out there, and then it's boom, straight to the line, and I want to hear from you. Okay? So that's what we're all about around here. So that's what we do on that front. Again, this show is year-round, so we'll continue these throughout the off season. We also do live game reactions as well. I believe this week I'm going to do a playoff reaction with you folks because I remember last week we were talking about it. Y'all was like, yeah, we want to do that. Okay, I'm going to do a playoff. I'm Hawkeye with the quick one. He says, cussing, you're out of here faster than Steve goes to sleep. Hawkeye with the good one. I think I'm going to do a playoff live review this week with y'all, so we'll watch the game together. Again, keep your eyes on my social media. I'll let y'all know when that's going down for sure. But throughout the season with the Jets, we watch live Jets games together when my schedule allows. We have a live game reaction, and then after the game, we have a live radio show. And boy, those can go off the rails. As y'all know, everybody in here know, if you haven't been a part of them and you knew, believe me, they can go off the rails, all right? I don't allow cursing, but there have been some angry shows after the games, all right? Woo! There's been some tough situations, all right? So that's what we do during the year. But again, as the season continues, or as the off season continues, I'll try to watch the playoffs with you guys, a game a day or something like that. So I'll let y'all know when that's going to take place, and we'll sit down and watch the game together. And, we chit chat and shoot the breeze and talk about all kinds of stuff during the game, because clearly the Jets are not in it, but we definitely watch the game together and have a lot of fun. So that's something we do on this channel. Also game as well when I have the opportunity to. I know there's a lot of people, believe me, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I know there's a lot of people that want me to get back to playing games. They like, Joe, where is the Street Fighter? Joe, where is the Madden? Joe, where is the Resident Evil? Where's the Outlast? Bruh, I know, okay? I know. I'm trying, okay? My schedule's wild. I'm trying to do it. But when my schedule allows, we'll get back to it, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing that, all right? So we do that too. So you might catch your boy playing games. If you see that, come on in and join us. You know what I'm saying? Come on in and watch your boy and sit down and talk with us. We talk about life, all kinds of stuff, all kind of fun stuff. So we have a lot of that. So we do have a lot of fun on this channel, and we enjoy ourselves. Again, please go to that link tree and, definitely, subscribe to those channels as well. Those other channels, content is coming for those too. And we have a lot of fun doing that stuff. So yeah, with that said, again, please follow me across my social media platforms, and subscribe to all of my YouTube channels, including this one, and give the videos a thumbs up and share them with your friends and your family. So we do that a lot. So salutes to all the savages, man. Salutes to my guy GM. GM says Derek Carr is a logical choice if he wants to come here. Lamar, his numbers are going down each year. He keeps getting hurt lately. I don't know. There's a lot of people saying that about Lamar, and I respect it. I like Derek Carr myself. I don't necessarily realistically think that Lamar is going to end up here. I just feel like something's going to shake out the same way it did. Not on the same level as Watson, like off the field stuff. I just think the Ravens will trade him elsewhere. But, I like Derek Carr too. There's a lot of people that don't like Derek Carr. But we'll continue to talk about this as the season goes on. So salutes to GM, salutes to Val. Val says not true. Oh, it is true, Val. It's true. It's true. Y'all know Val be hating on y'all. Y'all know that. You know, Val be hating. You know, it's out of love. Val want to get his shine, but he be hating, bro. Hawkeye, salutes to you. Always good to see you in here as well. Salutes to GVH. He says, peace, Joe. Salutes. Larry Coleman, salutes to you as well. He says, Joe, fire. He's fire. Salutes. Mr. Green, salutes to you as well. You know, salutes to B. Strickland. Always good to see you in here. He says, a pencil clip. Yeah, there's a lot of people that want to get rid of Zach Wilson quickly. If you could package him with something. 2 honey buns and an open Sprite. We'll send that to them with 2 first-round picks, and that'll get us Lamar Jackson. That's what people are thinking, you know. Hey. They want to make it happen. Salutes. Salutes to everybody, you know, that joined. Salutes to BK Trainer. Always good to see you in here. Steve, when you awake, it's good to see you as well. You know, wakey, you know what I mean? Budgeting D, always good to see you in here as well. Salutes. NY Jets FL, always good to see you in here. Dave, salutes. Good to see you in here too. NY Jets FL again. Kicks, always good to see you. Gully, Monty, always good to see you as well. Jacob, good to see you in here too. Jay Johnson. Salutes. Seeing Ghost, salutes as well. Good to see you in here tonight. Jennifer, salutes to you. Good to see you in here as well. Good to see everybody, man, that just joins us and has a good time. Edward Figueroa, always good to see you too. You know, salutes to everybody that just joined us, had a lot of fun, called in, interacted any way that you could. Sandman, Bonson, good to see you in here. D-Train, always good to see you in here too. You know, we're just sitting here talking about the Jets, man, having a blast. I really enjoy I really enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do the show, to interact with people. I'm all about having discussion. Oh, that's another thing. Keep in mind that when you call in, okay, I have a queue so I can see you for my new callers. I've had this issue with new callers. I always almost forget this. All right. When you call in, there's a queue system so I can see you. All right. So I'm going to get to you. Believe me. All right. But if you call in and hang up, I won't see you because you'll be at the bottom of the queue constantly, all right? I go down the queue system. I respect everyone's time, okay? Again, I can't give everybody 30 minutes, but we'll get to everybody, and I respect everyone's time. Look, I know some people think that they can call in. I've had this discussion with some people. That's like, Joe, we love the show. I've been a Jets fan for 40 years. If I call in, you better, I need to come on first. That's not how it works here. We don't show no favoritism, okay? Believe me, all right? I want to hear from every Jets fan. I don't care if you've been a fan for 4 seconds or 40 years. I don't care, okay? There's no favoritism here. I don't care who you are, all right? I don't care. I get to everybody, and I respect everybody's times, and I'll go down the queue, all right? So there's other guys as well that's been here a long time, and they'll attest. They be waiting, and there'll be newer guys that have called in earlier than them, and they get on the line. That's how it works, all right? We get to everybody, and again, I respect everybody's time. You'll get about 8, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Usually it's a little bit less because, again, we got a lot of callers to get your points. But everybody has to wait, and the wait times here are not long. They're really not. So please just know that, and again, don't curse on my show or I'll get you out of here, all right? You can snore, but don't you curse. I'll just move on once you snore, Wake up. You know what I'm saying? Get you some Starbucks or some coffee. Wake up, and we get to it. So, listen, I'm going to get out of here. My schedule's crazy. I must go. Listen, folks, be safe, okay? Sit down with your friends and your family. Enjoy yourselves, okay? Sit down, enjoy some good TV, enjoy some good food with your friends and your family, your loved ones, and let the people that you love know that you love them. All right, that's very important to me. I hope it's important in your life as well. I hope it's important to you. Making sure the people that you love the most know that you love them. It's extremely important because you never know these days. You truly don't. You never know. So you folks have a good one. I'll see you folks later. Again, I'll be letting you guys know about the playoff game and where we're going to do that live reaction. I'll let you guys know the date on my social media, and we'll sit down and watch a game together and have a lot of fun. I'm going to try it this weekend. We're going to try to do that. So I'm going to get on out of here.